The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Yeah. Another one. It's gonna be good, my nerd Avenger. It's gonna be good, my nerd Avenger. Yeah, I'm excited, man. We got a lot to get into today. What's going on with the X-Men? The X-Men are probably the most drama-filled team in all of comics. They're like a pit of dramatic children in the bodies of matured adults with crazy powers that are all super hot, and they want to. There's a lot of drama. And so maybe it's par for the course that our X-Men casting would be filled with such drama as well. We're going to go over it. People are freaking out, man. But should they be? What's the latest? Are we still going to get the announcement? Is the Rockpocalypse still happening? That's the most important question. So we're going to get into it. We're going to break it all down today, baby. We're going to break it all down. The hell's this? What the hell we got? Why is that doing that? The hell's all that about? Anyway, what up? Zack Snyder back? Oh yeah. Warner Brothers is basically like, get that goon out of here. Somebody get these beggars out of here. I'm gonna say that a couple of times today. The beggars thing, because we also got to talk about Star Wars Marvel comic book crossover. Somebody get these beggars out of here. But yes, there's a lot to get into. There's Zack Snyder. They rolled out the red carpet for him at Warner Brothers. They're all really bummed about the Paramount thing. Look, I mean, we're going to talk about some things that people are saying allegedly, but I heard DeLuca and Abdi basically put their arms around Zack and said, you know, we never really liked that spiky white-haired freak anyway. And after Supergirl, we're going to stop acting like we do. Allegedly. Allegedly. So we'll get into all of that, man. Did you like that new Warhammer movie poster? Oh yeah, no, I loved it. It was so creative. Really made me feel all the good things inside and not all the bad things inside. So thanks for that. Anyway, yeah, we got a lot to get into today, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good stream. We're gonna talk about X-Men casting drama. Okay, we're gonna talk about Black Panther 3. How the hell is this gonna work with Telecon and Namor and Shadow King and mutants and X-Men? You know, Alex is teasing some stuff. We've heard some stuff as well. What the hell is even happening? What's going on? Also, I think like my chair is a little too high. Check this out. It's crazy. It's like magic, huh? We're also going to talk about Zack Snyder's back, baby! Zack Snyder's back! Adam, now is the perfect time to have some applause. Maybe cut to a thing where everybody's just like so happy or whatever. Zack Snyder's back, baby! He's going to take over Warner Brothers! Maybe. We'll get into it. Star Wars Marvel crossover. Why? And then also, I have a really exciting segment where I think I discovered something about Doctor Doom, the painting or the mural that he has, the Word of God, the book that will be in the movie. And so I need a deep dive on that. It's actually really, really cool. It's like super nerdy. You know, we're going to dissect all this stuff, draw all these conclusions, talk about comic book precedents and all that sort of stuff. So it's gonna be good, my nerd Avenger. Zack Snyder's back and he's gonna save DC. Yeah, Zack Snyder's back and he's gonna save DC. By the way, I guess Lanterns comes out this Sunday. Is that true? I guess I'll check it out. What time does it come out? Howard the Duck wrote the book. Damn, that's crazy. I'll add that to the segment. So skip Lanterns and anything DCU. Well, I don't know. Like the Lanterns thing is interesting. I kind of want to check Lanterns out. Helldivers tonight on stream. I guess it's as good a time as any to say probably no Warhammer stream tonight, guys. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things going on. I know. Listen, Linda. I'm trying to get the Warhammer Explain channel popping. There's other things happening. There's Unity stuff happening. I'm super busy. And also, between Friday, which we'll have a double stream Friday, and then we got to stream Saturday morning for the members. Let me explain. I know. Everybody cry about it. Listen. Everyone thumbs down this stream. Look, I looked at what they're doing for Helldivers, and I'm not trying to be like a butthole about this, right? But that doesn't really seem like enough to get me excited. Like, they put the bolt gun, the melt-a-gun, and the armor of, you know, albeit an elite unit within the Guard. It's the Guard, man. You know what I mean? I'm not that excited about it. And look, if you're excited about it, that's freaking dope. I don't know. Maybe I expected way too much. I thought maybe we'd do some Tyranid stuff, or at least have some like Warhammer bosses. Like, imagine like a planet where there were orcs also there, like some orc boss things or whatever. Whatever, man. I'm not trying to be a douche, you know, but like, I like the Space Marines, you know, I like the Custodes, I like the fucking orcs, man. The Guard, and we're not even rocking any of the Guard tanks or nothing like that. It's not like you're gonna roll out in a Rogel Dorn tank. If you were rocking out a Rogel Dorn tank, I'd be about it. You know, even Sam Wilson would say, "Do better, Helldivers." Well, look, it's probably just what Helldivers can do. And that's fine, but dude, it's just not enough for me to get personally that excited about it. But hey, if you like Helldivers a lot, if you're Warhammer curious, yeah, check them. I mean, the guns are amazing. What do you want me to say? The Melt-A-Gun is amazing. Do they have a last Fusel? Like, I didn't see all the weapons. We love you, Tau. I mean, look, I like the Tau too, man. Can you imagine some of the Tau weapons, or getting in a freaking battle suit or something like that? It'd be absolutely incredible. So it is what it is, though. Erd075 says, just got back into Warhammer, starting a Dark Angels army. I am so hyped. Well, you've chosen wisely. The Dark Angels are the best. They're the best Space Marine chapter. Look at this Purity Seal I have. It's a Dark Angels Purity Seal. You know? You can't really get it to zoom in. Shut your mouth when you're talking. I'm going to put this. I need to get a some kind of backpack or something to take all my nerdy shit around when I go to the gaming store. Blood Angels are the best, Josh. I like the Blood Angels a lot. Blood Angels are super cool. I'm a big fan of when they lose their mind and kill even their own allies via the Black Rage. I am a super big fan of how they're kind of all vampires. And some of them do some crazy shit with that. due to the red thirst. So I'm a big fan of the Blood Angels. You know what I mean? But and they make art. You know, they're artists and shit like that too. But the difference between the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels is the Dark Angels Primarch's alive. Number one. Sorry, Sanguinius is dead. Also, because he's alive, our Space Marines aren't all psychically fucked up, so we don't have that shit going on. Also, we're just better at battling, warring. Our Primarch's a better general, and also alive. So you know, like hey, Blood Angels are cool. If you want to be a Primarchless, psychopathic, bloodthirsty, I mean, again, they're cool. They're fine. You know, they're fine. All right. Anyway, no, but I'm glad you're getting into Warhammer, man. I do love the Dark Angels. I'm trying to play more. Actually, I haven't had a chance to play or hobby really a lot with my Dark Angels. Hey, by the way, I did get a new jet. Should I go get my jet and show you guys? Should I go get my new my Warhammer jet and show off my new model? Can I show you guys my new toy? Here, hang on. Let me look at this crazy ass book for a second. I'll be right back. Ugh. Hang on. Hang on. Who brought Warhammer up? Who's the guy that brought up the Dark Angels? Okay, listen, Linda. I got 2 of these. I can't get the focus to change. Oh, look, I got 2 of these. This one's incredible. Painted really well. I might touch it up a bit just to get a little more grimdark, but it's fucking cool, okay? This one is very shittily painted. Cost me like less than $100. The guy knew he fucked up, threw it up for sale. It's terrible. So I'll have to fix this one up. But yeah, I got a couple jet planes, man. Like for my Dark Angels, these are technically a part of the Raven Wing, which of course everybody knows is one of the companies that were first established in the Hexagramicon, and then the Lion adapts them into the. You guys know the story, you know what I mean? But yeah, super cool. Don't act like you're not impressed. Don't act like you're not impressed. Hell yeah. I love how it's not aerodynamic, how not aerodynamic Warhammer is. Well, wouldn't you rather just have like fucking gothic cathedrals and dope ass iconography? Like do you want to be like aerodynamic, or do you want to be badass and dripping with aura? You know what I mean? That's kind of the decision that you're left with. The ship matched the 2 figures on your desk, the green and black. Oh wow, yeah, that is cool. I planned that aesthetically. I planned it. Josh, I just found another poster for Warhammer. Don't you dare. Let me guess, starring Margarita Wingardium Leviosa? Yeah, I'm not falling for that shit again. Goth Heather Warhammer figure edition would be cool. God damn it. No! Okay, let me catch up on some of these chats, man. We'll hang out a little bit, but again, we do have a ton of topics to get into today. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one, man. All right, Mr. Falcon says with a $20 holler, that's very generous, man. Says Doomsday Climax, Doom defeats the Avengers. He removes the mask. There only one being in the multiverse I fear. A portal opens and Heather Glenn? She looks at the camera and says, "Fuck you, Josh." Heather always prevails. What the hell kind of drugs are you guys on? What kind of substances are you guys partaking in? And why aren't you sharing with the class? Because this is incredible. This is incredible. I've never seen such creativity before. You know, like your boss probably is like, I give this guy assignments and tasks and shit, and like he's not doing nothing. But look at how creative he can get for the goddamn den of nerds. You know what I mean? I just want you to think about that. Okay, Zack Attack follows up and says the X-Men 97 ending though. You know, I'm super behind on X-Men 97. I think I'm literally 4 episodes behind, and it's crazy because I like the show a lot. But I just like, I don't know, I haven't been super drawn to finishing it. I will of course finish it. Hang on, let me move my phone. Get these planes. You know, like looking like that. Yeah, I haven't really watched it. Has it been good? Did you guys like the finale? And Nick P says with a 10 spot, when we get to the ending of Doomsday, could we get a scene where Doom and all the witches take off their masks, or is that something we see in Secret Wars? That's a great question. So that's something we're going to get into a little bit today. Daniel RPK is kind of suggesting, I actually have it pulled up. I'll share a little bit of it right now, and then we'll touch on this more later as well. But he's kind of claiming that RDJ Doom, just like Doom, they'll have their masks on with an accent, so we won't see or find out who they are until Secret Wars. But we kind of know that's not true for Doom? You know, due to Cryptic basically saying that there's going to be 5% of the movie where he's not in the mask. So, yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting to watch how the scoopers and how people are covering all this sort of stuff. Certainly feels like Marvel's done a great job of, you know, trying to keep the secrets. So we don't really know for sure. What do you guys think? I don't like Sand says, Star Wars, you can't escape me. I am Marvel now. Just like you can't escape the association of your last name, Josh. Yeah, fuck that. You guys don't even know my last name. Rossi says with a $5 holla, Kevin Feige is trying to get you back into Star Wars. Boo! Did you see the Marvel Star Wars crossover in the comics with Kevin Smith writing? Yeah, I seen it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about how somebody needs to get these beggars out of here. These goddamn Star Wars fans, you're ruining my goddamn Marvel. Mr. Falcon follows up with a $20 holla. It says, would you rather James Gunn controlled Warhammer for 20 years? Gross. Or Heather Glenn replaces the Emperor on the Golden Throne? And yes, every Space Marine now worships Heather. No third option, Josh. Fuck. You know what this super chat makes me realize? Do you know what this super chat makes me feel inside? I gotta get Unity going, man. Like, I know some of you guys have been waiting years and you're like, yeah, no shit, you need to get Unity going. But like, now I'm seeing it. Now I realize. Because the only IP that I can actually control is mine own. And I swear to God, we're not going to have no Heathers in Unity. I swear. I might make a character that's Heather and then have her fucking mercilessly destroyed. The skin peeled from her body. Yeah. So I better go get Unity going on. Andrew Miller says Star Wars + Marvel collab is so desperate. I think so too. We're gonna get into it more. I think so too. Chat, what do you think? You think it's desperate? Or you think it's kind of like fun, and I'm just being a butthole about it? Wait, what? Darth Invincitron says, "Who is Ant-Man in the Prime Universe?" # stolen lives. I don't know who Ant-Man is, man. I just got told some shit a long time ago that I don't even know if I believe. Uno Dub Nintendo says with a 10 spot, after Hot D Season 3, how are you feeling about that Blue Minutes Ormond cast for Magneto? Who the, what? He really made me hate Ormond so I could see it. Loved his gift from the North in the final battle, too. I didn't know that was a thing. Blue Minutes said that shit? For real? Is that the Stark homie that gets his hand cut off and says, that's a proper fucking from the north? I'm from the north. Is that what that is all? Is that what that all means? Okay, I'll bite. Who the fuck is Heather? Ex-girlfriend? I wish it were that simple, dude. I wish it were that simple. Okay? I'll TLDR Heather, and I can't believe we're doing this. Like, I can't believe we're doing this. Fuck you, Marvel. Okay, so I'm wearing a Daredevil Born Again shirt. How ironic. So here's what happened. TLDR. TLDR. Also, you guys got to remind me to do shorts today. You guys didn't remind me on Monday, and I was supposed to do them on Monday. So thanks for nothing. Listen, Linda. Marvel made a Daredevil show, and it was terrible. And the thing is, I went to bat for this show because, number one, I like Daredevil, but also there was a report that they basically remade the show. They fired a bunch of people that were working on the show, and they remade the show. I convinced myself, and a lot of other people convinced themselves, that what this was Marvel kind of being like, man, we've made some trash ass shows lately. These shows suck dick. So what we're going to do is, because we know Daredevil really matters, like, dude, Echo, whatever, fucking, Kate Bishop, like, who gives a shit? But Daredevil matters. And so I convinced myself that what they were doing was actually fixing the show and making it good, okay? And, man, I tried, okay? We were doing watch parties. I was excited for it. It wasn't really hitting, but I wasn't like, eh. And then we get to that episode where Heather says she saves herself. And I shit you not, I had one of the most entertaining, probably, but also blood rage inducing crash outs that I've ever had. I literally laughed like the Joker. Somebody's got the video. I crashed out like never before. And I hate this character, Heather. I fucking hate this character, okay? And so then as we were like getting ready for season 2 and all this stuff, it's like, oh, Heather's gonna be back and she's doing all this and she's gonna be Muse and all this shit. And so I'm like, to this day, I have not watched any of Daredevil Born Again season 2. And the prize I get for that, my trophy, is that for the rest of fucking time, my chat tries to superimpose Heather into everything I love. It's almost as if they wish that the universe would just start putting Heather into Warhammer or Star Wars or whatever. So, that's the story about Heather. Thanks a lot, Marvel. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. Rossi says, we all worship Heather anyway, Golden Throne or not. Oh my God. I'd give her the golden ring. Yeah, no. Yeah. I wish she got ringworm. Zack Attack says, Ormond is the one who gets killed by the guy who says that's a proper... Oh, okay. So he's the Hightower, Ormond Hightower guy. Okay. Yeah, I thought he was great. So she's saying he could be Magneto? Huh. Okay. Interesting. Maybe Heather is a Doom Witch. See, that's that shit. That's that shit. Purpa and her. That's that bullshit. I guess welcome to the community. You'll fit right in. It's okay. They made Heather crazy at the end. She was crazy from day one, dog. Like, what do you want me to? What are you trying to? What's happening here? I could see it. He was great as Ormond. He was pretty great. Yeah. I haven't heard anyone say this yet, but Jason Isaacs would be amazing Magneto. Yeah, absolutely. Heather is the first death in Doomsday. That would be incredible. Oh, welcome to the community. Welcome. One of us. Yeah, you'll be real popular on the Discord, I bet, too. Reminder, do a Heather short, my guy. No, see, don't remind me of the Heather short. Remind me of the other shorts. We're not doing Heather shorts. We don't do that here. Do you still think Franklin Richards will be aged up and take on the Beyonder role Kang was supposed to be? I think he'll be aged up a little bit, yeah, but I don't know how much of a role he'll actually be playing in Doomsday. It's it's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder what role Franklin does play. I did hear some things, but the most recent leaks make it seem like it's all about Loki's power and Wanda's power, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you on that. Watching from work, my guy. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Get that money. I used to love taking a big old poop on the company dime, you know? Because I'd sit there and be like, I'm getting paid to poop right now. And it made me feel good because the corporate overlords couldn't stop me. You know? This world is not fair and not equitable. So you got to figure out how to take little pieces of it back. You know? And watching the stream on the company dime, hell yeah. Taking a poop on the company dime, hell yeah. I wonder if we see an aged up Franklin in Secret Wars. I think we will. I'm getting paid to watch Josh crash out about Heather. Jesus. So if they bring Mephisto back, do you think we'll have with Aubrey Plaza's Lady Death? I'm not really sure. I would expect they have some plans for Aubrey Plaza. I thought her death was actually pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the answer will be there. Good to be back as a Nerd Venture. Can unite me, Josh? I am Johnny Tsunami. Welcome back to the Nerd Ventures, where you belong. Welcome home. All right. Should we start getting into more? Tell us about Ant-Man. Brother, I ain't got nothing to tell you about Ant-Man. I got told a long time ago that a lot of these characters are not who we thought they were, and that Ant-Man especially wasn't real, and there's something to that. That's all I know. Rossi says, when Nerd Ventures go out into LA, we'll have to go to the casting agency for Amazon and Warhammer and put in a good word for Margarita Levioso for the show. Who's that? I like her name, dude. Margarita? That's a good name. That's a good name. Who is that? Den of Storm casting. Yes. How do you feel about Feige saying it won't be a full-on reboot? We all think it will be after Secret Wars. Yeah, we've kind of danced around that one a good bit. I think it's even less of a reboot than it was going to be a couple of years ago, frankly. Deadpool and Wolverine made so much money that they're like, yeah, we'll keep the multiverse around a little bit so y'all can go play over there. Actually, I have a whole theory about what they're going to do with Deadpool and his universe and the X-Men and all that sort of stuff. We'll see them. John Bow says, member for 11 months, Nolan, Marvel, Villeneuve, and Theory are saving cinema this year. Oh, yeah. All right. Amen. Save them. Save those theaters. Not like I give a shit, but no, that's good for those of you that still like, the theatrical experience. Can live without Tom Holland. I don't know what that means. Josh, Margarita is Heather. I know, Zach. I know. I was fooling with you, man. Josh, I know almost nothing about Warhammer, but I started playing Darktide, and it's freaking epic. Yeah, dude, Darktide's really cool, and I like that side of the Warhammer space, bringing you in on an interesting thing, because it's like a hive city, right? And you're like mercenaries or people that are there to protect the hive city or something. Hell yeah. Am I crazy for being more excited for Midnight Suns than X-Men? Yes, but that's okay. Different strokes, different folks, baby. Zach says Bob Iger and others bought the Lakers, apparently. I did hear about this. Yeah, I did hear about this. Interesting. I don't know too much about that. I want Total War to release on Xbox. I don't know about that either. I believe Total War will probably be PC. Dawn of War 4 might be on Xbox, though, right? Pretty sure. Give me the X-Men news, Josh. I beg. Okay, is it time? Should we get into the topics? Did you guys see my cool new jets, man? Should I take you through the stats and the strategy and like what we're doing with the jets? It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Spider-Man in IMAX is incredible. The swinging is peak. I would actually like to check that out, but there's like no real IMAXs anywhere near me. All the IMAXs are far away. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to finally see the SDCC trailer. Yeah, me too. Me too. Actually, that's a yeah. Don't forget to do shorts. Thank you. Just remind me after the segments. Okay, after the segments. Okay, I think it's. I think we should start talking about. Let's start with the X-Men, John. Okay. There's actually like a ton of updates about this, guys. Here, I want to pull this over here. Okay, let's go over this. Let's try to like bring everybody into the onto the same page with this. So it continues to be teased and speculated that Marvel Studios will make a big X-Men announcement this Friday. This will be for the D23 Disney upcoming presentation thing. It's late Friday night, man. 10 p.m. That's like my bedtime. So I'll maybe take a nap on Friday, and we will be live streaming. So around 9:30 at night, your boy will be live. And we'll be breaking down that presentation. Hopefully a lot of fun Marvel stuff. You know, if there's some cool Star Wars stuff, we could touch on that, I guess, a little bit. But really, we're there for the X-Men, and we're excited about the X-Men stuff. Now, we've been talking about this because it's an ongoing thing. It was teased last week by Daniel RPK. On Friday, the Hollywood Reporter teased it. Deadline also teased it recently this week as well. But nobody's like coming forward to hard confirm that it is a thing. But something really weird happened Tuesday going into today. I think it might have even been late Monday night and then all day Tuesday was so much drama because Melton, the guy that's up for Beast, in fact, maybe one of the like oldest pieces of casting that we heard, and by oldest I mean like a month ago or whatever, and that had seemed to be locked up, was that he was going to be playing Beast, okay? All of a sudden, we start getting all these reports that he dropped out. And not only did he drop out of the role, but apparently that him dropping out of the role could have made Marvel not want to announce the full cast, because they originally wanted to come out and do the full cast of the new X-Men, get people really, really excited about it. I personally think they're going to tease those characters showing up in Secret Wars and then being in the X-Men movie. Not 100% sure on that. We know Sadie Sink will be in both, and it's possible other characters will be as well. Okay, so this happened, and like people start panicking, man. Like everybody starts panicking about this and freaking out about it. There's a lot of people saying like, oh no, it's probably not going to happen, etc., etc. So late last night, though, we do get a couple of different updates from different insiders. So Daniel RPK chimed in late yesterday and said, or actually maybe it was early yesterday. He says, okay, I understand how the Melton thing got out, but there's a reason I haven't said it publicly and only in private. It's not 100%. As for D23, they're not all locked in yet. Not just Melton, Spaney too. They still have time, so we'll see. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So Daniel's claiming that he understands how the Melton thing got out. That's the guy that's going to play Beast. And he didn't say it publicly because it's not 100%, meaning like they're still probably negotiating and, you know, figuring that out. Now, this guy, Caleb Williams, who I also think is like really, really reliable, he chimed in as well. He said, I think the miscommunication on the X-Men cast comes from how secretive Marvel Studios is. The names mentioned, we have all been part of a casting process, but if they pass or signed on, nobody really knows until it hits the trades. They could be just ironing out the details. So that's kind of interesting, man. So he's suggesting that some of the stuff we're hearing, like potentially even Spaney, which is something that like Daniel's heard, is like, oh, Spaney dropped out or Spaney's not locked in. That could technically be old info because it might not even be Spaney. Like there's a new interview where Odessa says, not only does she say this, but she also said it in a way that made a lot of people think that she could actually be Rogue. So this happens at 1:55 here.
I could help you.
Let me see if I can find this one.
I need to know the feeling of being on the set of Madonna's music video.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
What the hell?
So cool.
Maybe it's after this.
Like meeting her.
She was as Madonna as you think Madonna would be. She's a legend, but I think she's a rock star.
Were you freaking out before, during, or after?
The whole time. All of the above. Yeah, including now still.
You compose them when you're meeting her, like, hi.
Oh, it's at 55
like,
seconds. Sorry.
I'm like, so
I screwed it up. Here we go.
Getting all the things that are coming across your desk now. Does it happen to be a superhero? Is it X-Men by any chance?
I don't know if I can answer that question. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea.
That's a good rumor, though, because I see it 100%.
Do you?
Yeah. You get Rogue.
Really?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell them.
No, I'm playing Rogue. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's been.
I'm playing Rogue. I'm kidding. So I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. Like, could be Spaney, could be her. You know, and again, it's just interesting to see how all of these different people are chiming in. Roka chimed in on this as well. Spill the Tequila. Is this a new show where he's like drinking tequila and stuff? John, where's the invite? I like to drink tequila and talk crazy shit. Where's my invite? Anyway, he said, listen, the deal might still be made because I reached out to my source earlier today about it and they responded, Melton is still in talks from what I understand. Just not a lock anymore. I think he wants more money. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Here's the full quote. And again, you know, maybe there's something to this. Listen, these deals might still be made because I reached out to my source earlier today and I said, what's the deal with Charles Melton and Beast? They responded, Melton is still in talks from what I understand, just not a lock anymore. I think he wants more money. So this could be an agent or a manager who is putting this out there on social media to see the reaction and be like, hey, look at the reaction. People are upset that we haven't locked on Melton for Beast. Pay my client his money so he can be there on Friday night and you can roll him out as a part of the cast. So there could be something even more business oriented once we look past this whole I'd like to play an X-Men type of thing, if there's a business side to any of this. So that's kind of interesting, particularly because Daniel says he now understands how it got out, and Roka's then saying like could be an agent or a manager. And so we're, you know, put two and two together there, and that's potentially what is going on, right? Would really hate for that to be the case. Like, I think it's kind of scummy to use the rumors and to use social media and fans to like leverage the studio for more money. And I would just say, like, if I were Marvel and I'm like, if you're going to become a problem the week of to try to get more money, well, then all of a sudden there is no fucking Beast in this movie. You know what I mean? Like erase that off the concept art or whatever. Like, there's no Beast in this movie. Get fucked. That's what I would do, right? But then again, I'm not Marvel. I don't know how that happens. Maybe that's really par for the course. Like, maybe a lot of different actors do that sort of stuff. I think, guys, at the end of the day, from where we're at right now, there are strong indicators that Marvel wants to make an X-Men announcement on Friday. And I expect that they will make an X-Men announcement on Friday. I think what we're really arguing about here, or what maybe the reports are suggesting, is that there's some fluidity to what that announcement will actually entail. Will it have the full cast? Will it just have Sadie Sink and Cyclops? Do you just bring those two out, show some concept art, and then have the Rockpocalypse come out and clothesline Sadie Sink? Like, dude, I just think it would, like, if The Rock came out and actually, like, went to the ropes and then, like, pile drived Sadie Sink right in the face, it would be amazing. Like, that's an amazing promo. That's an amazing way to build up your X-Men. I can't believe Apocalypse just actually physically assaulted this actress on stage. That's amazing. So I am still very hopeful for big announcements. I still think you're getting X-Men this Friday, but maybe it's fair to say that we should maybe curb our enthusiasm. We should also understand that there's a possibility that not everything that they tried to get finalized for this will be finalized for this. But I generally still expect some big X-Men announcements. And in fact, my gut is telling me that they're going to get Melton. It's actually not that big of a deal. Whatever this whole agent, whatever thing is, they'll figure it out. He's locked. I actually don't think it's Spaney. I think it is Odessa. And I don't know that we'll get any other big surprises. I think the Charles Xavier thing could be a really big surprise. If it's Skarsgård, that's not that big of a surprise. But if it's somebody else, I think that's a really big surprise. So yeah, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of buzz. And of course, there was a massive amount of drama, and people did really freak out about this. Like, I had people DMing me, I had people messaging me, tagging me yesterday, being like, oh man, are we not going to get our announcement on Friday because of the Beast actor? And I'm just like, dude, look, man, if they're really going to tear down the whole X-Men announcement because they can't lock up Beast, then that's ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? No, like, just do it anyways. Do it without Beast, or have a stand-in or a cardboard cutout of something. Like, you don't kill your whole X-Men announcement just because you can't lock up Beast. And in fact, the idea that will affect the entire announcement seems like just leverage to get more money for like an agent or a manager or something like that. So anyway, that's the latest, guys. Those are my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? What do you expect for Friday? Do you think we should curb our enthusiasm? Or should we be expecting greatness and then be very upset if it doesn't actually happen? What do you think? Bro, I've been managing my expectations since the WandaVision finale. That's a good way to do it. Kaylee Spenny would be a good Kitty Pryde. Yeah, I agree. I think she'd be a good Kitty Pryde. Stormcast, though, hard to say. We did go over that, the concept art that was leaked late last year, and Storm's there. But from what we've heard, Coogler's involved in casting Storm, and Jeff himself said Storm's the one person he can't get a read on at all, right? So they're either being incredibly secretive or it's just not happening through the regular channels here. Brain says, Josh personally promised me an epic SDCC. Oh, pardon me. So I put all the blame on him. D23 going to disappoint. Totally not trolling. Hey, how dare you? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me. I'm telling you like it is. I'm telling you like it is. I definitely think based on the reaction, they would be misguided to not do some sort of announcement. Gene, Scott, Xavier, at least. I mean, they could bring Emma out too if Samara is available. Whew, maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's all you need is to bring her out. But that is a good point, right? So we're hearing all this stuff like Adam Driver, trades implying that he's Sebastian Shaw, Samara Weaving, Emma Frost. Obviously, Sadie is Jean Grey. We knew that for over a year if you would just believe that guy Josh from the Den of Nerds, right? We have our Cyclops. Yeah, and then there's some rumors of some Angel casting, rumors of this Beast casting seems to have been on point for a while there. You get the Rogue casting. There's just a lot of smoke, man. There's just a lot of smoke. I think there's some fire there. I think so. Not every actor wants to spend the next years in makeup and CGI. Probably costs a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly actors that wouldn't want to do that. For sure. I think many actors see it as a massive opportunity, though. And even if it's not necessarily where their heart is at, they understand that as a career move, it's really good. So I think it's Odessa. I think she's better fit than Spaney personally. No shade to Spaney, though. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I don't like Spaney being 5'2". I don't like my Rogue being 5'2". I think Odessa has the look, has the vibes. I think Odessa would be great. I heard Jamie Lawson might be Storm. What do you think, Josh? A lot of people are saying that, but I can't source it from anywhere other than just people hoping. You know what I mean? Including me. I hope so. I think she'd be a great pick for Storm. But I just can't source it to anything other than fanboy dreams, and fangirl dreams, frankly. Spaney is too small. I agree. I think she's a little too small. But, we've thought that sort of conversely with Wolverine, right? Like Hugh Jackman was too big. What is he, 6'2", 6'4"? Wolverine's 5'3". Wolverine, Spaney should play Wolverine, is basically what I'm saying. The new Wolverine, Spaney. Done. Josh, you gotta stop with the Rockpocalypse hype. No, I don't. Are you guys like? Come on, man. Come on, man. We all see the potential of the Rockpocalypse, right? Throw a 1 into the chat if you realize how hyped up it would be to have Dwayne The Rock Johnson play Apocalypse. Come on, man. Throw a 1 into the chat if you see the vision. Josh Lucas confirmed as Beast. Dude, I would totally play Beast. I would absolutely play Beast. Here's my audition. Oh, my stars and garters. Oh, my stars and garters. And then just, you know, quote some Shakespeare, Voltaire, and call it a day. Just spray paint me blue, dog. Save money on CGI. I'm pretty hairy, actually. You know? Look at all these ones. Everybody gets it, baby. The Rockpocalypse. My name a Beast. I've seen enough. Cast him. Amen. You in the Marvel shape? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. You should see the stack of Guatemalan steroids I inject into my ass cheeks every day. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Of course I'm in superhero shape. You know, they're all short, right? Sadie Sink is 5'2". That's fine. Jean can be 5'2". Okay? Rogue needs to be taller than 5'2". How tall is Spaney? Rogue needs to be taller. All they need to bring out is Sadie Sink, Kit Connor, and the new Professor X, and that's the most important. I agree that that would be enough, actually. Yeah, and maybe give it a date. You know, put a logo up on the screen. Odessa is 5'4". Hell yeah, those 2 inches matter. The Rock is washed? What are you talking about? You guys are such Rock haters, man. I hope they call the movie The Uncanny X-Men. That would be good. Yeah. Spaney is 5'1". Okay, so it's 3 inches. Wow. She's 5'1". Short X-Men versus the tall X-Men? Yeah. Dupe is the lead, I hear. What? What if Disney does an X-Men origin series, 6 episodes of the characters that matter, bring them together in the big scale movie? Look, I wouldn't necessarily be against that, but I think the reason you don't do that is all the Disney Plus crap over the last 4 to 5 years, man. Like, it's just not, I just don't think it's going to work. You need to change how people would view those shows. Scarcity matters a lot. So I'm not saying you can't do it, but if you just turn around and do that today, I don't think it's the move. I think it's a waste of resources. Who's my pick for Iceman? Dude, I'm so bad at fan casting, man. I'm so bad at fan casting. I'm terrible at this. Stream lagging? God, I hope not. I did just get a couple of warnings, though. Let's see here. What are these warnings? An hour ago. Okay, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. That was an hour ago. All right, so let's finish up that segment there. I still am very hopeful for an X-Men thing on Friday evening. I'll be live either way, so we're either going to be incredibly disappointed together, or we're going to be super hyped up, high-fiving each other, slapping each other's ass, and running around the tower. It's going to be a good time either way, okay? Okay. Now let's do a short. I got to do a YouTube short. Hang on. Hang on. Let me take a big old sip of coffee here. Pinky out. Fish Likes Production says, yo, when are we getting a Star Wars Warhammer collab? Just kidding. Real talk. What's the best way to get into Warhammer outside of making an army? I'm broke. Watch X-Men news or whack X-Men news. The best way to do it is to just watch the lore videos on YouTube, man. There's so many great lore channels. You know, there's the Warhammer Explained. Like, that guy's so good. People are basically begging him to like make more content. It's crazy. So I would check him out. Got a great voice. Really knowledgeable. He's good looking, you know. I like that guy a lot. Luton09, incredible channel. Yeah, there's a ton, man. There's a ton of great channels. The best way is to just get out there and watch some of that lore. All right, let me see what else people are saying. Darian Thompson says on a 5 spot, you think Pym blamed Howard Stark for the missing Pym particles in Endgame, which led him to find out Stark was trying to make it and resign. Ooh, I kind of like that. That's cool, man. That's cool. That's cool. I actually think that would be really, really cool. Hopefully they do explain that like that. That'd be fun. Now he may not have dropped out, but he wants more money. Yeah, we did go over that. Appreciate you though. And then I think I read everybody's chats, right? I'm pretty sure I got everybody's chats. Okay. Let's do a YouTube short here. Let's do a YouTube short, right? Because we gotta get the shorts going on here. Marvel Studios X-Men announcement at D23 Friday. That's what the reports and rumors are saying. This has been going on for a little while now. Insider Daniel RPK first teased this out. It was later soft confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter. It's been soft confirmed by Deadline. But this week, people started to freaking panic when reports came out that Charles Melton, the actor that we heard was locked for the role of Hank McCoy, aka Beast, was no longer locked. And everybody started to panic. Everybody started to say, oh my God, they can't lock up Beast. We're not going to get any X-Men announcements. Fridays is going to suck. And we hate Marvel now. Well, I think that was a bit of an overreaction. And now more evidence is coming out that it's not necessarily the case that he dropped out of the role. It seems like negotiations are ongoing, and a lot of the insiders are trying to calm people down now and explain that, look, man, Marvel's really good at hiding secrets, and they're getting even better at it. You know, as we've noticed with the Sadie Sink thing and the Jean Grey thing, Marvel's absolutely pretty good at hiding secrets, and so it's harder than ever to know for sure what they are doing, what are they planning. I will be live Friday night on the live streaming channel, the channel you're watching this short on, if you're watching it, and I hope you're watching it. If you're not watching it, you should watch it. So we're going to find out, and we're going to find out together. But I'm here to tell you, I think the drama and the concern about that X-Men casting going away because they don't have Beast is overblown. I actually think Melton will be our Beast. I think he will be on stage on Friday. I think you'll have Sadie Sink. I think you'll probably have Kit Connors out there. You might get our new Charles Xavier. Adam Driver might show up. Samara Weaving might show up. I don't want to set too high of an expectation, but I am expecting all the X-Men, a date. I want Rockpocalypse. I want a Mr. Sinister. I want Daniel Day-Lewis as Magneto, and I will accept nothing but that. I'll see you Friday. Done. Easy. Easy. All right, let's talk Black Panther 3. And then we'll talk Marvel Star Wars bullshit. Okay. All right, let's talk about Black Panther 3 because an insider just gave us some really interesting details of what to expect for this movie. This movie is a big mystery, huge question mark, a bit of a concerning thing for me as a fan, only because I really did not like Wakanda Forever. I really disagree with the decision to not recast T'Challa proper. I really disagree with the decision to make his child called T'Challa, aged up to be Black Panther, and now that's our male Black Panther. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. However, I like Ryan Coogler, and I'm willing to let them cook. I'm willing to take in whatever they offer up for Black Panther 3. And if it's cool enough, if it's good enough, and if I happen to like the new Black Panther, you know, T'Challa's kid or whatever, then, you know, maybe in the future movies and in the rest of that franchise, I can get down with Wakanda once again. So let's look at this new report here, because even though we don't have a lot of answers for what Ryan is cooking up in this movie, Alex pretty good. And so he's leaking the first few details here, okay? Return to familiar waters, okay? So it says here, it's been a little over 2 weeks since Marvel Studios returned to Hall H San Diego Comic-Con to provide the audience with some updates on their upcoming releases. One of the most hyped up presentations was the confirmation of the development of Black Panther 3. During the panel, it was confirmed Ryan Coogler would return to the director's chair to film the franchise's third entry, along with the return of some familiar faces of the franchise. This includes Letitia Wright as Shuri, Winston Duke as M'Baku, but the most surprising aspect of the panel was the confirmation that the film would feature a new Black Panther, an adult version of T'Challa II, son of T'Challa, which would be portrayed by David Johnson. Aside from those confirmed details, there are still plenty of questions left unanswered regarding the film's plot and how it would take place in the MCU. As one of the first films to be released post-Avengers Secret Wars, and while we may not have those details just yet, we have received some new information that give rise to new wrinkle in the story than what we could expect to see. It returns to Talokan. We at the Cosmic Circus have been able to confirm from sources that a portion of this film will be set in the underwater nation of Talokan, which is set to debut in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I really wish they would just call it Atlantis, because like this whole weird thing that they're doing where they're trying, like there's probably actually some kind of historical link between Talokan, Mesoamerica, Tenochtitlan, these different figures, and true actual Atlantis, if true actual Atlantis is a thing. For some reason, I think they decided to not call it Atlantis because they wanted it to be more like Native or Mesoamerican. But that's crazy because it's very possible that Mesoamerica is where fucking Atlantis was. So it's absurd. These people might actually be Atlantis. Anyway, I wish they would just call it Atlantis. With the inclusion of Talokan in the upcoming installment of Black Panther franchise, it's expected that Tenoch Huerta will return as Namor, as well as the other Talokans, Atlanteans. Mabel as Namora, Alex as Atuma. We have been informed that the casting processes have already begun, with Marvel agencies looking for both Wakandan and Talokan extras for the movie. As for the role of the Underwater Nation in Black Panther 3, that information is not known yet. However, given the unsteady alliance that Wakanda and Talokan have formed in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and the upcoming test of their alliance in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, we can expect the next Black Panther outing to build upon those tensions. An uneasy alliance between them. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever gave audiences our first introduction to Namor and the underwater nation of Atlantis in the MCU, a nation hidden from all eyes of the world due to their unique adaptations and the rare element of vibranium. On paper, they share similarities as the nation of Wakanda, which prompted Namor to seek an alliance with the country against the people of the surface world. Of course, as the events of the movie played out, Shuri and Namor butted heads and in the end promised to maintain an unsteady alliance after he killed her mom. Ridiculous. The action, of course, prompted concerns from Namora, blah, 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 blah. Namor's premonition is now full circle as Shuri and M'Baku and Namor's help in Avengers Doomsday, putting upon the lore of the two nations and the personal relationship and tension between Shuri and Namor. Okay. Here we go. While on the subject of Black Panther 3, I wanted to put out one rumor I heard as of late from one source, which I asked readers to take with a grain of salt. That said, the rumor involves the return of the popular character from the Black Panther franchise for the upcoming installment. That is Queen Mother Ramonda, portrayed by the Academy Award-winning Angela Bassett, who was nominated for the role of her portrayal in Wakanda Forever. How exactly she fit into the movie, we're not sure. Okay, so this is an interesting breakdown from Alex, talking about how Namor will be a part of it. Atlantis is going to be a part. I'm just calling it Atlantis now. I don't give a fuck. That's all going to be a part of the story. But I think Alex is missing what this is. And I will now speculate on what this is. This has to do with mutants, I think. Because Namor is a mutant. And not only is Namor a mutant, I think that him being a mutant will be even further explored in both Doomsday and in Secret Wars. Okay? And I actually think that another mutant, potentially a couple other mutants, like Denzel Washington potentially playing Shadow King, Farouk, and the potential of Storm being in Black Panther 3, I actually think the tensions will be centered around that. Especially with the inclusion of somebody like the Shadow King. Okay? Because I kind of see a scenario here where obviously Namor will want, or sorry, T'Challa II will want to like defend his kingdom and, you know, make sure that they're strong. There's obvious tension between Atlantis and Wakanda. And I think the Shadow King might find a way to influence young T'Challa II into wanting to be more aggressive, into wanting to attack them and all of that. And I can potentially also see this as an emotional rift between Shuri and T'Challa, of course, because Shuri went down there and flirted with this bitch-ass dude like it was a fucking Disney movie. And there's all sorts of weirdness with that. And so I think there could be like some tension there. But especially if we're talking about the age of the mutants, okay? And we're talking about these incredibly powerful beings beginning to emerge. And what does that mean for the different nations of the world? What does that mean for Namor? What does that mean for Storm? What does that mean for African nations? What does it mean for underwater nations? What does it mean for all the nations around the world? The mutant element is really, really interesting. Namor is an incredibly powerful mutant. He's one of the beings that gains a piece of the Phoenix Force in Avengers vs. X-Men, right? And Phoenix Force Namor, holy shit. I'm pretty sure Phoenix Force Namor destroys Wakanda. I'm pretty sure, unless my comic book history is wrong there. He destroys Wakanda so much so that they call T'Challa the King of the Dead. And they actually banish him to the necropolis. And he's still allowed to rule over the necropolis, but he's sort of shunned to the necropolis, called the King of the Dead for sort of losing that war with all of them there. Even though Shuri, I think, was involved in that as well, because she attacks first, I think. So that's what I think it is. And if they lean into that mutant shit, like I guess what I'm saying is I really hope it leans into the mutant of this whole thing. Maybe it'll talk about how vibranium allowed mutations to happen earlier when, you know, otherwise they would have waited a long time. Is there something to do with the cosmic destiny of the Eternals and the X gene? Does Farouk have ideas about that? Does Storm have ideas about that? Does T'Challa have ideas about that? Does Namor have ideas about that? Is there an uneasy alliance between the mutants, and this is something that T'Challa is not down with? I'm not really sure. It'll be really interesting to see how all of that plays out. But I think there's some juice there. So chat, that's what the report is from Alex. That's my speculation to add to it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this? He sent Thanos to Wakanda to Emma Frost, made destroy Wakanda. What? Namor and his people wouldn't refer to it as Atlantis. They would use their own. No. So again, I totally disagree with that, but that's okay, because what you're doing is whitewashing the idea of Atlantis. You're saying that Atlantis, or Atland, is just because like white Greek people talked about it in the Timaeus, and we describe it as outside of the Pillars of Hercules, that it's white people. Atlantis is not that. Right? So, like, to me, the word Atlantis or Atland or Atlantis is ancient and native in and of itself. That etymology that you're talking about is wrong. So, no, I totally disagree. He's the worst actor on the chats. He's like number 74. What? What are you talking about? You're talking about David Johnson? I haven't really seen his work, but I think he's probably pretty good. Can you sum up the Shadow King real quick? I'm not hyped for Black Panther 3, but maybe knowing who he is will help. I do like Denzel, though. Yeah, I think the best way to learn about the Shadow King is to watch the Legion show. The guy that played him in that show was absolutely fantastic. But the Shadow King is just like a really, really old, very, very powerful psychic. He has a history with Professor X. He has, Shadow King, dude, is like, what if he's almost like a version of Insabanur that's actually just an incredibly powerful telekinetic and psychic, and he chooses to just amass power through criminal organizations, backroom deals, and dark cabal-like organizations. Yeah, he's really cool. He's really cool. They're just trying to be different from Aquaman. That's fair, I guess. But again, I just think it's silly, man. If anything, like, and I don't know, because like it's all speculation. We don't really know shit about Atlantis. But what I'm trying to suggest to you is, like, there's a lot of people that think Atlantis was in Mesoamerica, was maybe North America-ish. You know, I don't want to go too crazy conspiratorial on you, but like it's very possible that if that was a real thing, it was like native, older, you know, central to that area type of people. And so in a way, calling it Atlantis is actually reclaiming that whitewashed, you know, myth or whatever. So they aren't using Atlantis because they can't copyright it. It's pretty simple. Oh, there you go. It's pretty simple, Adam says. So stop complaining about it, guys. Here's the thing. I'm just going to call it Atlantis, man. You know what I mean? I don't care. Josh, why do you think Doom's face hasn't been revealed in the posters, trailers? Could he be RDJ in blackface? Now that would be a very interesting twist. I don't think many people would see that coming if he was in RDJ blackface. I don't personally think they would go that route, but I guess you can't completely rule it out. Make a short about it? I'll make a short about you. They don't want Little Mermaid comparisons. Isn't that so funny? Like, so much of Atlantis and what we think about with Atlantis is been decided for us by all this media. You know? Josh, what do you think about Austin Butler as Gambit? I like it, but I'd like to point out that it does not seem like Gambit will be cast for this X-Men movie. Really does not seem like that's going to happen. No, it was in the Eye of Africa. There's a lot of different theories about it. I personally believe it was probably North America. My name is Doom. I can see Johnson playing Sebastian. What? What the hell are you talking about? The Sebastian from the Little Mermaid? I'm pro-Atlantis. Come at me. I mean, I don't know if I'm pro-Atlantis. I just think it was probably real. Bermuda Triangle? Possible. Josh, can't wait for the Lanterns watch party on Sunday. Am I right? You are not right. You are wrong. There will not be a Lanterns watch party. There might be me saying, yo, that wasn't that bad on Monday. Or maybe on Monday I'll be like, the shit is trash. They killed Hal Jordan. Fuck you, James Gunn. Ah! You know? So we'll see. What happened to Ant-Man? I'm not sure. The Eye of the Sahara is where Atlantis was. Look at all these fucking Atlantean experts we have in chat. I think it's great. That you guys have your theories and purport to know where Atlantis was and all that. I mean, I know. I won't tell you, but I know, and you're all wrong. Plato consistently went to America? What? We're way off base here. Chat. Are they rebooting the OG Avengers? I don't think so. Maybe eventually. Toby and Doomsday? Yes, I think so, yeah. Does Storm go on to be the Queen of Wakanda? In certain stories, yeah. They get married and she's, you know. But I'm pretty sure the Wakandans, most of the Wakandans don't really trust her or like her because she's a mutant. Can you believe that? Maybe let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys like it if T'Challa II became super anti-mutant? What if Wakanda became the most anti-mutant country on the planet? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? Which comic run do you think they're going to do for Emma Frost and Mr. Sinister Krakoa? No, they'll probably pull from various runs. Maybe right before the Uncanny run. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Is Storm possibly the mother of T'Challa Jr.? No. I don't think they're going to do that, bro. I don't think they're going to do that. I heard Heather is tall enough to play Rogue. Get him out of here. I would actually really like it if Wakanda was super anti-mutant. Because, damn, those Sentinels would be pretty advanced. Can you imagine Vibranium Sentinels? And shit like that? That'd be pretty cool. If Namor kills Shuri, T'Challa Jr. would hate mutants. That's true. That's true. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea there. I'll take that and act like it was my idea. Thank you very much. All right, should we do a short? Should we do a YouTube short on that? We have our first look at plot details for Black Panther 3. This is coming from Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus. And there's really like 2, maybe 3 main things here. Number one, we're going to go back to Telecon. That's their version of Atlantis, where their version of Namor is from, right? So that'll be a thing, and apparently there will be a lot of scenes shot there, a lot of returning characters. They're going to play off of the events of Wakanda Forever. And it is interesting that Namor will be a part of Doomsday. Namor will be a part of what they do in Secret Wars, and so maybe there'll be something going on there. There's also this idea that you might get the Queen, Ramada, to come back. Maybe this is an astral plane thing. Maybe it's flashbacks. Not really sure how all of that will work, but that is cool. Like, it is cool that there'll be some tension and there'll be stuff with T'Challa II and Namor and all that. Ton of comic book precedents there. But I actually think this has to do with mutants, because Namor is a mutant. They even talk about him being a mutant in Wakanda Forever. It's like one single line. A lot of people miss it, but he does talk about a mutation, or he's a mutant or something like that, right? So he's a mutant, okay? And we've heard rumors that mutants will be a big part of this story in Black Panther 3, because Denzel Washington is rumored to play Farouk, the Shadow King. We've also heard rumors that Storm, the new MCU Storm, might be cast by Ryan Coogler and be in Black Panther 3. And if you think about it, in 2028, if the first movie after Secret Wars is X-Men, and we're in an X-Men saga, wouldn't it make sense for some big macro X-Men things to also have something to do with the plot of Black Panther 3? There could even be maybe trying to register mutants and trying to find the mutants, and maybe the government comes to Wakanda because they are the only ones that can find Namor or something like that. We're not really sure, but for me personally, I think if they lean into the mutant side of this, and they lean into the mutants and the X-Men and have Wakanda play a big part of that, I think that's brilliant. I think that sets up the next saga to have characters we care about be involved with things we care about. The mutant problem, as people will call it, will be a super big deal for almost all groups of heroes and villains in that next saga. So the official report is that we're going back to Telecon. Namor's going to be there. We're doing more stuff with the Vibranium and Atlantis versus the Vibranium and Wakanda. And my speculation is it has to do with these damn muties. Done. Done. Druzilla says, playing a little catch-up, RDJ Blackface is hilarious. I'm just a Doom variant, playing a Doom variant, playing another Doom variant. Yeah, I mean, that'll always be a thing. I love listening to him talk about that shit too, you know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, he did that shit. And a lot of people thought it was great, you know? So it is what it is. That'll always be around, but no, they're not going to do fucking... They're not gonna do that shit. But you know what they might do is actually another one of those Tropic Thunder movies. Wouldn't that be dope? I feel like a really well done Tropic Thunder 2 could be the exact antidote to this weird ass climate that we have with comedy and sensitivity and shit like that. Like, just fucking go for it crazy town. And RDJ is maybe one of the only white people that could get away with it. So yes, I support it. The Exodus says mutant Namor plus mutant Aurora conflict for T'Challa. I'm thinking so, buddy. I'm thinking so, and maybe also the Shadow King's influencing things behind the scenes. hard ES on muties is wild. It is a little, isn't it? We're gonna have fun in this mutant saga. Believe that. Believe that. They would cancel RDJ. I mean, there might be some people that try, but most of us will probably just let it roll. Between Namor and Jean Grey both being murderers, so it's not a good look for mutants so far. Yeah, totally. And it shouldn't be. You know, these damn muties are like, whew, they're a problem. Not a big surprise. Cyclops has always been a massive beta male cuck. What the fuck? Where's that coming from? Damn, is that Wolverine's alt account? Logan, let it go. Let it go, buddy. When are we getting the Inhumans? Oh, I don't think we're getting the Inhumans anytime soon. Look, I like the Inhumans way more than most people. I like the Royal Family. I like Karnak. Dude, I think Karnak's like a dope-ass character. There's this really cool run that Warren Ellis did with Karnak. Like, I like the Inhumans, but they're not very popular, and Rob from Comics Explained won't ever stop shitting on them, including Black Bolt, which is a shame because Black Bolt's actually cool, dude. Black Bolt is cool. Anyway. VTJ Production says, would love to see the Wakandans accept Storm, only to show they actually don't support mutants when Storm has to choose between X-Men and Wakandans. Yeah, like stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Is like, dude, this is layered. It's complicated. It's so cool. I think there's fertile storytelling ground here. And I think Coogler is like the guy to be able to do that, right? Because technically, this adds this whole otherizing element to basically the entire environment, but especially with regards to Namor and Atlantis and Wakanda, T'Challa, and Shuri, right? So these are nations that have been otherized by other nations. In some ways, they have been sort of enclosed, closed off, Zionist even. You know, Wakanda themselves, especially in the comic books, like, bro, like they really do not give a fuck about the rest of the world. Like they don't, including all the other countries in Africa where people are suffering and things are going on. So it's always been sort of a complicated thing. And I think Coogler plays with that really well in the first Black Panther movie. You add mutants to that, and then all of a sudden it's like my own people, my community, people I care about, and there's this element to them that makes them different than the others here. And then you have that in-group, out-group psychology even within that closed-knit environment. It's just juicy, you know? One of the greatest things you could do to your characters to make them interesting is make them hypocrites. And in a lot of ways, most people are hypocrites. Just in maybe varied ways, but it's juicy. It causes conflict. It causes drama, right? So I think it could be incredibly interesting. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Mutant fear is always based in fear around being left behind in evolution, destined to be upgraded, Iron Man 3, and that is a universal fear. Yes, I think that's true. I think one of the things that makes the mutants themselves really scary is the powers tend to manifest in young people around in like times of stress and adolescence and stuff like that. So it's like there's this big element of like the kids aren't safe, and then if that kid's a mutant and it's around my kids, like something really bad could happen. And it does happen actually. And then you look at Jean, you look at how she acted, right? And you essentially have, you know, albeit, you know, somebody that was wronged, you have this incredibly powerful person that's not mature basically in any way, and she goes out and takes things into her own hands, crosses all sorts of lines, causes damage, might even kill people. In a lot of ways, they are justified in taking her down, you know. Now she's going to grow, she's going to develop power, she's probably going to do a lot of good in the world, and maybe that guilt will sort of weigh on her as we get into the next saga. But I think that's what makes the mutants in the X-Men compelling. It's actually justifiable to be afraid of them, and it is justifiable to want to control them. I don't know that that's ever been balanced, you know what I mean? But look, you got, like, just consider this. Charles Xavier, right? The guy that's like the mutant dream and humans and all this sort of stuff. Charles Xavier completely erases Wolverine's memory. Wolverine's in the comics was actually sent to kill Charles Xavier. And he shows up to kill Charles. Charles scrambles his brain, erases his memories, and basically turns him into an X-Men. Okay? Charles Xavier, to a young Jean Grey, sees her potential power, puts actual mental blocks into her mind. Charles Xavier does not care about her autonomy when it comes to closing off her access to that power, which could be incredibly destructive. So the very guy, the Martin Luther King Jr. of the X-Men, is actually violating the human rights of his own people. So the X-Men they're all fucked up, bro. And that's what makes them interesting. That's what makes them compelling. It's like, you know, they're trying to do their best, but like legitimately, they are a problem. And legitimately, they don't always do the right thing. So it's interesting. I like it. I like it. All right, should we talk about Zack Snyder? Hell yeah, we should. Oh man, juicy stuff going on with Zack Snyder. By the way, I love that the clip we did about Zack coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe got over 10,000 views on the Clips channel. That's awesome. I love that everybody sees the potential. We're all excited about Zack Attack coming back, or I guess coming for the first time over to the Marvel's Cinematics universe. Okay. But that's not where the reports end when it comes to Mr. Zack Snyder. No. No, in fact, we have new reports, and we've seen the Instagram posts, right? We've seen the Instagram posts where Zack is on the Warner Brothers lot, okay? And look, if you're very anti Zack Snyder, or you're like, oh man, I can't, they would never replace James Gunn with Zack Snyder again, buckle up your buttholes, because I'm about to tell you a tale which hopefully makes you cry. I hope you cry about it, because the impossible might happen. This is an article over on the New York Post, and it is written by Tatiana Siegel. Okay. And Tatiana Siegel, really interesting, good reporter. She famously did that big article shitting all over Marvel Studios after the whole thing with Daredevil Born Again, talking about Feige. She teased doing Doctor Doom. She teased bringing back all the OG Avengers. This big article. I think it came out like 2023 or something like that. She's also famously written a lot of terrible shit about Zack. Was, I think, actually involved in besmirching his name and making it all look bad. But she speaks really positively about Zack Snyder in this article, and that is because her controllers, the puppeteers in the studio system, shoved their hands up her proverbial ass and worked her mouth like the little puppet that she is. And the last time that this happened, the last time Tatiana Siegel was forced by her handlers to write positively about Zack Snyder, was when the studio was trying to promote the Snyder Cut. That's facts. So you can look that up. Okay? So it's happening again. History repeating itself, okay? And in this article, Tatiana speaks so highly of this guy, talks about how the people on the lot, DeLuca and Abdi, were so grateful to have Zack there. They feel as though they're in purgatory right now with the whole Paramount deal and all that. And there's a whole like drama layer to that, right? But this was apparently a really, really positive thing that happened. Beyond what was put into the article, there are other people like this dude who are saying that what happened was he hosted a screening of Excalibur. Great movie, by the way, if you've never seen Excalibur. Great movie. He probably has a really good print of that or whatever, and so he brings the print over, does a screening on the lot of Warner Brothers. He was greeted with a very warm welcome, and people are speculating that they want him back. Now, I think that's 100% true, period, full stop. They want Zach back. Okay? I think Zach is about to have another kind of come up. He's doing the big UFC movie. He's got that Last Photograph movie, which people are speaking highly of. I think, especially watching what's going on with James Gunn's universe, I think the people at Warner Brothers are more open than ever to doing something with Zach, bringing Zach back in some capacity. Zach publicly recently has talked about doing a Dark Knight Returns movie, and he said he'd be willing to do it whenever Warner Brothers would let him. Zach's teased, telling his story, continuing to tell his story with the DC characters. We just had another interview with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, where he's sitting down and talking to Josh Horowitz, and they talked about the Flashpoint movie and how he was going to play Bruce Wayne, and they just gush on Zach. And the big difference here, and I really want you James Gunner fans to really hear me on this, okay? Legitimately, the big difference between what Gunn does and what Zach does is Zach treats DC as this mythic, epic thing. He understands the atmosphere and the iconography of that world. He really does treat it like it's the pantheon, it's Greek gods and goddesses. It is taken incredibly seriously, and it's done in that almost medieval story kind of a way. And when you watch Zach's movies, you watch how he treats the material. He takes it incredibly seriously. There's a resonance and a reverence. The icons, the costumes, the silhouettes, all of that sort of stuff. It matters a lot to Zach. And Gunn does goofy-ass, third-rate, C-level characters with a bunch of, perverted shit all over it. He's a goofy glob, likes that kind of cornball, weirdo shit. And you can just see it in his work. That's legitimately the difference between them. And I really think as you look at what has happened to Gunn's universe, and you got Creature Commandos and Pissmaker, and you've got Superman, which I don't think history's been very kind to. And then you've got Supergirl, which is losing them hundreds of millions of dollars. I just think you can look at the way the audience is going with this sort of stuff. You can look at what Gunn has done, and you can just see a departure. So I really, truly believe that Zach back in any capacity, working on big IP, especially that comic book kind of stuff, would be a very big win. Okay? You cannot look at the box office of Spider-Man and look at the box office of the DC Universe and feel as though comic book movie fatigue is the reason that Gunn's shit is not popping. And I think there could actually be something to this because, look, it would be kind of crazy to do another reboot. And I think another reboot without some kind of a hook or an umph is not necessarily doomed to fail, but it's doomed to be looked past. Ironically, one of the only ways that you could go away from Gunn stuff, go to something else with DC, and actually have it be considered hyped in any way is to go back to Snyder. I know some of you don't want to hear it, but there would be an army of fans that would be so excited. Restore the Snyderverse would trend. People would go nuts. And yes, there would be pushback. And yes, there would be people that wouldn't see how it could work. But I'm telling you right now, what other option do they have? You want the white-haired spiky guy to just keep picking his favorite C and D level characters? He's given us stupid-ass Amanda Waller fun factoids when we're casting the X-Men over at Marvel. These things are not equivalent. It's not working. So I'm excited that Papa Zack Snyder is back on a lot. They're all excited about it. James Gunn's shit's circling the fucking drain. Restore the Snyderverse, Warner Brothers. Do the right thing. Restore the Snyderverse. I can't wait to see the face of all the doubters. We've gone through this before. We've gone through this shit before. Oh, there is no Snyder Cut. It doesn't exist. You've seen the Super Cut where people like John Campea and Jeff Snyder and John Roca and all these other people said it doesn't exist. It'll never happen. This, that, second, and a third. I watched it with my eyeballs, and it's incredible. Round 2. Do it again. Fuck the haters. Restore the Snyderverse. Okay, anyway, that's the topic. That's the take. What do you guys think? You guys agree? Everybody's all excited? Are we feeling Zactivated? Are we feeling Zactivated? Are we happy? What do you mean, though? Even you said he needed to reboot. Reboot the Snyderverse. Don't restart. Well, there's all sorts of ways you could sort of have your cake and eat it, too, within that. Via time travel, different timelines, and things of that nature. I wouldn't be mad if he launched a whole new DC thing. But honestly, like, even if you just did Dark Knight Returns with him, I mean, is Batman, like, dope as shit, or is Batman dope as shit, right? And so if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, Matt Reeves is cooking on the Batman, we might do some Court of Owls. That's absolutely incredible. And then James Gunn's like, I want to do goofy-ass Batman because I'm goofy-ass James Gunn. Then you probably are like, and then you let Snyder do Dark Knight Returns. Like, come on, man. You don't think we can handle Dark Knight Returns Chapter 1 in between Batman Part 2 and Batman Part 3? Batman is really all they have? I mean... yeah, it kind of is. The Exodus says, I say it a lot, and I'll say it again. Dr. Manhattan is the answer. Blame his machinations on the Gunverse. Bring back Cavill. Print money. Slam dunk. Yeah, there's something there. There's absolutely something there. You could use Dr. Manhattan to reset the timeline. All sorts of stuff. Wouldn't this be a PR nightmare for DC to go back to Snyder? I think someone new is more likely. No, so you're thinking of it the wrong way. If you go to somebody new that's like absolutely sauceless, then what your universe becomes is a footnote of a conversation. Like, nobody's going to care. When you bring Zack back, yes, there'll be pushback. Yes, there'll be people that can't believe it, but there'll be a ton of fans that are like, let's fucking go. I think it's a better option. I think it's a better option. I mean, Michael Bay's coming back to do Transformers. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's just going back to the old shit that worked. Fuck it, man. Josh, My Time to Lie says they are locked with the X-Men cast. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. That's probably true. The Snyder Copium is awesome, and I really admire it, Josh, says Ella Funk. Oh, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Just do Crisis on Infinite Earths and the old DCU with the current DCU, have cameos for the CW characters. No, it's too much. Too much. Too much. No. Too much. Snyder is what people think RDJ is to Marvel, but far less successful. Sorry, not sorry. It's okay. It's okay that you feel that way. But I still hope it happens, and I hope you cry about it. We need the next 2 years of Justice League, man. It will print money more than The Dark Knight Returns. We already have BVS. I think so, too. I think so, too. And, like, look, Hollywood is kind of, let's say, changing a lot because it's basically, like, collapsing. So Hugh Jackman comes back to play Wolverine. He wants to do it till he's 90. RDJ is coming back to play Iron Man. He's going to do that past Secret Wars, probably for another 10 years. So all the old guard is coming back. You really don't think Cavill and Affleck would sign back up? You don't think so? We're about to watch Doomsday with two 80-year-olds playing Charles Xavier and Magneto. Okay? And we really don't think that Affleck would suit back up? Zero chance? Oh, man, no, it's not zero. It is not zero. In fact, I would describe it as a non-zero chance. This is nostalgia desperation. Nostalgia works. Nostalgia works. They're bringing Anakin Skywalker back to Star Wars. Guys, everybody's doing it. He better not. He's busy being Valdor. Yeah, but like after the first show, is Henry even going to be very involved in what? I mean, you know, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. We want the Marvel hat on. I want Cavill in the MCU. Me too. Me too. Yeah. Why not both? Who would play Flash? Flash died on his way back from the fucking timeline, and now we got a different Flash. It's Wally West now. All right, I'm glad we all agree that this is amazing that Zack Snyder's on the Warner Brothers lot. It's absolutely amazing that they all hate James Gunn now, and it's so cool that we're going to restore the Snyderverse. Come on, baby! Restore that Snyderverse! Should we do a short on that one? Snyder been a bum before he's still a bum now, and he'll always be a bum trash ass movie maker. Oh my god, that's just probably to trigger me. You know, you can't possibly believe that. Where'd you get your shirt? From the shirt store. There's a pretty good store for shirts. Yeah. Okay, we'll not do a short on that one. You know what I mean? We'll skip the short on that one just because all the Goon fans will lose their fucking mind. All right, let's talk about Star Wars and Marvel. Kind of can't believe this. Kind of can't believe this shit. Okay. Thought you got it from the jerk store. Oh, sorry. Am I being a jerk again? Am I being mean to you in the chat? I'm sorry about it. I've been working on myself. I have a sign right there that says, don't be mean. My bad. But also, maybe we stop being such a sensitive pussy all the time. Just a thought. Have you considered not being an overly sensitive, emotional pussy about what I'm saying? Okay, anyway. All right, let's talk about Star Wars, unfortunately. So, massive news. Earth-shattering developments. Marvel Comics will produce the first ever Star Wars and Marvel crossover comic book event that is releasing in January of 2027. Written by Kevin Smith with art by David Marquez. The story sees A New Hope take place on Earth 616 due to a reality-shattering spell. Okay? And then you do have some of the art here. Some of the different covers. This is all an Entertainment Weekly exclusive. And so my reaction to this is like, please God, no, why are we doing this? Who gives a shit about Star Wars anymore? And honestly, like, I get a really bad taste in my mouth for this shit, man. I really, really don't like this. I am curious as to what you guys are thinking about this, but man, oh man, is this not hitting the way that I think they thought it would hit. And the reason why is because there's this thing that's been going on with Disney. I mean, Disney's had a lot of different problems over the years. And, you know, a lot of folks try to dissect that, try to understand it. You know, why is this happening? Why is the public so against Disney? Like, what is actually going on here? And there are a lot of reasons as to why this has happened, but I think something that's been lingering, something that fans find incredibly frustrating about Disney, is that they try to act like nothing is wrong, particularly with Star Wars, right? I mean, Star Wars just keeps like soldiering on ahead, making announcements, doing sales for merch on May the 4th, talking about how they're doing this, that, second, and the third. And there's literally like no sign of them knowing how fucked they are. After Supergirl bombed, you at least had one of the co-presidents, not James Gunn because he sucks ass and would never actually come out and apologize to the fans, but you had his co-president come out and actually say, you know, admit that the box office was disappointing and talk about how they don't think it wrecked the whole universe, this, that, second, and the third. Marvel's made fun of themselves. Marvel's talked about getting a little ahead of themselves with the content. You know, people that worked at Marvel literally said stuff like you'd have to be living under a rock to not realize that the last few Marvel movies have not set the world on fire in the way that they had in the past. Kevin himself came out and said he felt like a big loser for not being able to get Blade off the ground. So, you know, Marvel in some ways has come out and sort of owned it. They've taken the L. And I think they've also made a lot of changes to try to right the ship. And I'm talking about specifically live action Marvel, because Marvel Comics is also in the shitter. They're getting destroyed by DC Comics legitimately for the first time in a long time. They're getting their shit kicked in by DC Comics. And so to me, I think one of the main reasons that I find this so offensive and tone deaf and out of touch is because they're just acting like you really still care about Star Wars, you really still care about Marvel, and it's still really cool to have them all together. But this isn't like 2015, 2016, 2017, or 2018 anymore. If this had happened in maybe the middle of the sequel trilogy, while the Infinity Saga was rounding its last bend, then I think there would have been a lot more hype there, a lot more excitement. And instead, this just feels like this tone-deaf crossover that you're supposed to care about. And the reason it's offensive is because it's like they can't recognize that legitimately we do not care about Star Wars like that anymore. And in fact, Marvel Comics has been so bad that I don't know that we even really care about Marvel Comics in the same way. Like, I'm looking for Marvel Comics to do something really fresh, exciting. You know, they're doing this horror thing. They're coming out of Avengers Armageddon. They're trying to do some cool stuff with that. But they need to cook, and they need to, like, prove to me that they can still actually be the house of ideas. What I'm basically telling you is one of the biggest problems between Marvel as a brand and Star Wars as a brand has been fucking Disney. The Disneyfication, the overreaching of executives, the overproducing of shows and content, the tone deafness of that. I mean, they created Mando and Grogu, and we saw those Grogu toys sit on that shelf, go to 30, 50, 60% off on clearance. They are stupid. They don't realize what had happened. And they're just plugging away at this shit like they're on fucking crazy ass drugs that don't allow them to actually feel any kind of pain or understand what's going on in the real world. It seems that level of out of touch to me. And also, it just looks so unremarkable. This doesn't seem cool. It seems way too Disney. It seems way too safe. There's no sauce. The designs of the characters aren't even good. The art doesn't even look compelling to me. It looks like some Hallmark bullshit that your mom keeps buying you year after year for Christmas, even though you told her you're not into Star Wars anymore and she should get you Warhammer shit. That's what this looks like to me. I hate it, dude. And Kevin Smith, yeah, great choice there. Super, definitely still all-time relevancy. Definitely hasn't foot and mouth syndrome, but still as popular as, are we stuck in 2014? Like, do we just really think we're stuck in 2014? What the fuck is this? I hate it. I hate it. I won't buy it. And I hate it. Nobody cares about Star Wars anymore. Okay, with that being said, What do you guys think? Am I getting this one wrong? Am I crazy? Am I getting this one wrong? Am I crazy? Do you guys think this is awesome? Vader vs. Doom, though? Yeah, don't care. Do the clip. I've never liked crossover franchising things like this comic. Nothing will ever be Batman vs. Predator. Dude, Batman vs. Predator was lit, dude. Now that was a good crossover, 100%. Louis the Jedi says 40 months, long time. Midnight Spider-Man will compete with DC Comics, not this bullshit crossover. This sounds like SOS call for both IPs. Yeah, it's I think it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Uno Dub Nintendo with a 10 spot says, I would have been lukewarm on this shit at best, even if Star Wars was healthy right now. This feels like a Hail Mary. Do this when Star Wars itself is good, and good luck with that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I totally agree with you. Like, this feels wildly out of touch. It feels wildly out of touch. And it's out of touch to the degree that it's annoying, dude. Like, who are these people running Star Wars? Like, I swear to God, man, if they and it's so absurd that we have fucking Luke Skywalker from A New Hope here, the guy you guys made drink the titty milk, get old as fuck. He starts off wanting to fucking kill himself in The Last Jedi, but nah, man, like, we got to sell these comics, so we gotta go back to Luke Skywalker, that farm boy that everybody loves. There's a dissonance there. It's so silly. It's so silly. They should do absolute Star Wars. That would be way more interesting. I completely agree. I think that would be way more interesting. Like, what is this? Like, this is them being like, oh, you like Marvel? Remember Marvel? Oh, you like Star Wars? Remember Star Wars? What if you had your Marvel with your Star Wars in your comic? You still like that, right? Like, that's what it feels like. And it's just, oh my God, dude. Holy shit. It biffs me. It biffs me. Because all the resources that were used to create this, the talent they put on it, I'm not talking about Kevin, the talent they put on it, the time it took to produce, the, deals they did, the distribution models and all that sort of stuff, all of that should have been used to, like, actually make Marvel Comics better, to actually go after maybe like some incredible talent that they continuously are losing to DC. It's like, who is this for? Who is this for? Is this for people that haven't been into a comic book shop in 20 years, but will somehow think this is valuable and show up because it's the first ever crossover? Like, what is this? This is the most gimmick bullshit I've ever seen, dude. Is that what Star Wars has become? Star Wars is now the thing that'll move some Fortnite V-Bucks purchases. Star Wars is now something that you want to combine with Marvel to try to get a couple more sales. Star Wars is playing at Six Flags, dude. That's where we're at. Incredible. Oh, and you know what? One other thing I want to say about Star Wars before we get off of this topic here is one of the only other ways that Star Wars can be entertaining is through the use of AI. So here's like some of my favorite AI slop with Star Wars, and I'll play this to you because it's awesome.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Turn off the music.
I'm probably going to get a copy strike for that, but it's worth it. This is now the only path forward for Star Wars. To be AI slop that we kind of all remember because one time it was good and we all watched it. And we can have fun with what's left of our memories of what those characters once represented. That's it. That's all that it is. Cooked. Cooked. Okay. Anyway, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Star Wars needs Zack Snyder. I agree. Have Zack do all the things now. Have Zack do all the things. But what if they did a Warhammer Star Wars comic? Yeah, no thanks, dude. Like, come on, man. What? I don't need that. Like, just do a Warhammer comic and I'm there. You throw Star Wars into it, it's worse. I did not watch Vader Episode 2. Do you guys like it? I've heard mixed things about it. Oh man, I can't wait for the Warhammer to be really awesome, unlike Rebel Moon. Everyone gets one wrong, so that's not on you, Josh. The Warhammer game is so fascinating. It's complicated, and I'm dumb, so I can't understand the rules. But I know if I was smarter, I would still enjoy it, says Caleb Senpai. Thank you, Caleb! What a wonderful message. Thank you. We didn't get a cut from Vader 2, so we don't talk about it here. Oh, okay. Everything Disney was intentionally set on destroying Star Wars. I personally feel like it was a part of an agenda. Well, if it's not an agenda, they need to deconstruct how it was so effective without actually being an agenda, because man, they cooked that shit. Man. Yeah, I didn't watch Vader 2, man. Like, to be honest with you, again, I've heard mixed things. There's some things I know about Vader 2 that I can't even say. And look, I honestly, I wish him well. I hope that it was what he wanted it to be, and I hope that those of you that fucks with him liked it, you know? But I'm not interested in any way. I don't think I'll ever watch that shit. I mean, I'm not even watching like the Darth Maul show, which I'm gonna go ahead and say is probably better than Vader 2. Yeah. Josh, are the Warhammer comics, and who published them? Yeah, there were, and Marvel published a couple of them actually. The problem is they're incredibly difficult to find. Like, dude, that the 4-issue trade collection of that Death Watch comic is like $600, dude. $600? That's like Warhammer figures. I can't spend Warhammer figures cost on my Warhammer comics. That's crazy. The problem with Star Wars is so much bigger than the story. It's completely destroyed their relationship with the customers. I agree with that. Yeah. I was disappointed in Vader 2. Like I said, I've heard mixed things, you know. I can't comment on it. I didn't watch it. Yeah. Can you find them digitally? You can. I think it's a little bit easier to find them digitally. Yeah. They're good, dude. Like that one that Aaron Dembski Bowden wrote, the Deathwing, or no, it's the Death Watch one. It's very good, dude. It was very good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, I don't really have much to say about it. What do you think about if they could get Michael Jai White to come back as Spawn and join up with Ghost Rider? That would be sick. But McFarlane's trying to make the Spawn thing happen with Jamie Foxx still, right? I'd like that. I think that would be good. Star Wars comics are pretty good for the most part. I've heard some good things. Guys, it's not a joke. It's not a meme. I can't stand Star Wars. I legitimately cannot fucking stand it. At this point, I don't even know if I'll get excited for Ahsoka season 2. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm so and I get it. Like, that's probably like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But really? Like, you really can't fucking believe it? Guys, I did it for a living. We had the #1 Star Wars show for years. Okay? Star Wars was my first love before Marvel. Okay? So really, you can't get it? You can't understand? You can't look at what's happened in Star Wars and understand that, like, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. I don't want to hear the boom of a lightsaber ever again. That's how bitter and turned off I am to Star Wars. Guys, I didn't watch the fucking Maul show. I didn't watch Mando and Grogu. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Boo, Jamie Foxx is Spawn. No, thanks. What? You don't think Jamie Foxx could pull that off? I think he'd be great. I think he'd be great. And one last thing I'll say on this segment, because we got well, I think that might actually be the last. Oh no, there's one really cool new topic. Oh, dude, I got one more topic for y'all. The truth is, Star Wars is dead. And if Star Wars fans want to be happy, which I'm not convinced many of you do. I swam in those waters for a long time. I think Star Wars fans actually don't want to be happy. That's why it was the most miserable fandom that I've ever experienced. But for those of you that do want to be happy, if you're a Star Wars fan, get into Warhammer. It's way better. It's way more mature. It's way more fun. It's way more badass. It's thriving. It's alive and well. So if you're one of those Star Wars fans that actually does want to have a good time and want to be happy, get into Warhammer. Get into Warhammer. Does it feel like my mic is hot? Is the mic hot? Do we get a buzz? Chat, hello, can you hear me? Did we fix it? When did it go crazy? What happened to that audio? When did it start? $10 minutes ago? Ain't no way. Like 2 minutes ago. Okay, that sounds good. What would Filoni have to do to turn it around for you? Close up shop, put a for sale sign on it, and then get into Warhammer. You know what I mean? I think Dave would do well in the Warhammer universe. Close up shop. When you started shitting on Vader 2, I didn't shit on it at all. I haven't seen it. All I said was, I've heard mixed things, which I have. And many of you in chat, you have your opinions about it. You know what I mean? Wallace and Paradise Lost are no longer in development. Breaking news. James Gunn can't do the job he was hired to do. But is that really breaking news? Breaking news. James Gunn fucked it up again. Breaking news. The Goon jammed. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, okay. Well, then, all right. I take it back. Doomsday trailer dropping on Friday. Let's do a little segment about it. All right, so we got a pretty crazy rumor for Friday. Now, look, Friday is shaping up to be one hell of a day for us over here at Nerdvengers Tower, because Friday night we will have the official D23 panel for Disney, and there's big time rumors that the MCU X-Men reboot, that cast, will be announced partially or maybe fully Friday night. We've been doing a ton of content about that. We're all really, really excited about the new X-Men casting and the direction that that's going in. So a lot of excitement there. But that's not all, man, because apparently the tickets for Avengers Doomsday, which right now, Doomsday, there's basically been no theaters, right? It's not, they didn't even do the Infinity Vision Doomsday shit yet, right? So when they did Spider-Man, they did that special weekend of all the Infinity Vision theaters, right? And there was like 1,000 theaters, people sold out, and then they opened up the rest of them. I don't think we've had that at all for Doomsday, okay? So the rumor is on Friday at maybe 9 a.m., you will get the release of the Doomsday trailer. The reason people are saying that is because it's also being reported that tickets will officially go on sale Friday morning for Avengers Doomsday. So, dude, that's exciting. So, Friday morning, this will probably come out. It's probably the Comic-Con trailer, okay? And that Comic-Con trailer will hit, and it'll announce that tickets are now on sale. I think that trailer's going to go nuts. It's, you know, the one for most people agree, even though many of us have only seen the leaked version of it, but that second trailer, the Comic-Con one, is way better than the first one. I thought the first one was decent, but that Comic-Con trailer is on another level, dude. It's way better, okay? So that's likely to be happening on Friday, where you get the boom, the Comic-Con trailer, and boom, the tickets go on sale. And that is juicy. So what we'll do, chat, what we'll do, I got to get my tickets first thing. So when the trailer will come out, I'll buy up my tickets, which, dude, that's going to be crazy. Like, I'm trying to get Thursday tickets, and then I'm trying to get tickets for the weekend. I'll try to maybe get some, maybe what I'll do is Thursday I'll go here, and then over the weekend I'll go to like a bigger market and see it on a bigger screen with a big crowd. But that's going to be really, really juicy. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll get my tickets Friday, and then we'll do a live breakdown of the trailer right then and there. Okay. So that's going to be cool. Again, we've seen the trailer. I already did a breakdown of the Comic-Con trailer and some of the really interesting things that are in there. But just like the last time, when it's officially released, there'll probably be even more stuff revealed. So we'll go in like frame by frame. You know, we'll look at all these little teases and hints. What does this mean? Where do we think this falls? So that stream Friday night is going to be, or Friday morning is going to be juicy. So, bro, wait, tickets already came out? What? The Infinity Vision tickets are already out? Ain't no way. Are you messing with me, chat? A week ago? These are the regular ones? Did I buy my tickets? Did I buy my tickets? Did I say that I bought my tickets when it was out? I probably bought the tickets. I just can't remember. So they put the Infinity Vision stuff up, what, with like the first trailer? Did I buy my tickets, Chad? Now I need to, now I don't know what's happening. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I might have fucked up. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Yes, I bought tickets. I probably did. Oh, you know what? I did buy tickets. Okay, now I remember, because I bought 4 seats. I remember now. I bought 4 seats. I remember telling my buddy, you and your wife can come with us. Otherwise, I'm doing buffer seats, and me and my wife are in the middle, and we got buffer seats. Okay, I remember. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, Den of Dementia. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's these fucking Star Wars fans and these Heather fans, bro. It's literally, it's doing something to me. My brain is eroding. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I feel like cocaine would help, actually. You know what I mean? Not to say that we're going to do that, but I think it would actually help. Boom, 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 boom. You know, neurons firing. Bada boom, bada bing. Anyways, like I said, like I've been saying to you, the Infinity Vision tickets are out, and we all got our tickets already with the first trailer because we were so excited. Duh. And now the regular theaters tickets will go on sale, and I need some of that shit in my life too. I need some regular showings. I might get a ticket for Saturday and Sunday of that weekend. I feel like I want to see Doomsday Saturday and Sunday. All right, anyways, like I said, guys, that's going to happen Friday, and the trailer's probably going to drop, and it's going to be amazing, and we're very excited. We'll break it down. We'll break down what it teases and what it means, and then later that night, we're going to get our full cast of the X-Men. Look, man, that's a hell of a Friday. That's a hell of a Friday. You know, Marvel, like, you know, James Goon's over here like, hey, factoid number 379 about Amanda Waller. And Kevin Feige's like, what about a Doomsday trailer? And then what about the new X-Men cast? revealed later that night. He's just putting it on the table. You know, he's just putting it on the table. It's amazing. So that's going to be fire, dude. That's a fire-ass Friday to look forward to. Breaking down the new Doomsday trailer in the morning, talking about the tickets we got, and then at 10 p.m. that night, we're going to go over the new shit, the new X-Men. Man, that's super hype. And then Monday, because we're going to do a stream that Saturday morning, which will deep dive on Days of Future Past. That Monday, we'll go over all the new X-Men stuff together, you know, for everybody. We'll talk more Doomsday stuff. Man, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff on the way for Marvel fans. And we all knew about it, and we're all super excited about it. So what do you guys think, man? Are you excited to get the trailer on Friday? Do you think it'll be different than the one we got at San Diego Comic-Con? Are they going to tighten it up a bit? The one they dropped was essentially the same one that had leaked. There was slight changes. So I do wonder if they'll make any changes to it. What do you guys think? Doesn't that mean the time is locked on Doomsday and the Russos lost? Well, I think it's a placeholder time at 2:16. And I think 2:16 technically puts it at a position where it, even if it was a little bit longer, it's not going to affect anything. But yeah. Vision Quest also drop it. They'll probably do a Vision Quest trailer on Friday as well. Yeah. I saw the Doomsday trailer in 4DX 3D yesterday. It was cool. Made it better. Ooh, okay. Okay. I think they add the line that Steve says to Yelena. Yeah, that was cut out from the one from San Diego. It's possible. It's possible. I can't wait for Deadline to report Man of Tomorrow is no longer in production. Well, they shot it. I mean, Gunn was really smart. He saw the writing on the wall. He rushed it into production before they could fire him and stop him. So he was smart on that. It'll still get made. I'm low-key hyped for Vision Quest. Vision Quest seems like it's going to be fun, man. I've seen that trailer. It's fire. Once you guys see that trailer, I think you'll understand. You'll be like, all right, like, yeah, Disney Plus, Marvel stuff sucks, but this looks cool. Gangsta Feige about the Barry Gunn's Lantern premiere. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that, but that's true. Like, who's going to be talking about Lanterns Monday? Probably like nobody. Everybody's going to be talking about the new X-Men. Everybody's going to be talking about that Doomsday trailer. Oh my God, he's so smart. He's so smart. Young Avengers special presentation. It's possible, you know, we've heard some things about that. I guess we'll wait and see. Is Star-Lord in Vision Quest? I don't think so. He could be hinted at. He could be, you know, the last cameo thing that they go to, or maybe they just roll up to his house at the end, you know? I'm not sure. Maverick Pilgrim says, when I saw Spider-Man Brand New Day, there were 0 trailers. I repeat, 0 trailers. What? Why is that? Did you see it at like a drive-in theater or something? I missed the trailers both times, but that's just because like I was late. And the first time I was drinking a bit beforehand. You know, I was like 3 margaritas deep. So I wasn't as punctual as I normally would be. Would Feige announce the next phase after Secret Wars at D23? I think he'll just suggest that the mutants are going to be a major part of it, that it'll be a focus on the mutants. That's what I think. Do you think Deadpool will join 616? I do not. No, I do not. It's possible, but I don't think so. Vision Quest trailer on Friday? Possibly, yeah. It was Screen X, but I felt cheated. That's a shame, man. I had no Doomsday trailers. I didn't either, but again, I didn't really see them all. Josh, do you think you have a drinking problem or not? Oh, no, I have the opposite of a drinking problem. I have a drinking solution, dog. Yeah, boy. Can't wait to get 4DX tickets for Brand New Day. I bet it's a good time. I kind of like the 4DX. It's not for everybody. Some people don't like it. If you get motion sickness, people don't like it, you know? Did you finish X-Men 97 Season 2? I have not yet. I will. Did you just say margarita? Indeed. Josh, I know you hate Daredevil Born Again. What would it? But would you be excited for a Spider-Man Daredevil crossover someday? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Daredevil could joke with him and be like, "I wish my ex-girlfriend didn't remember me. She said she saved herself. It was super annoying." And then Tom's like, "Yeah, well, she did like move me out of the way in this movie to talk about engineering and shit." And I'm just like, "What the fuck, bitch?" But you know, like that would be kind of fun. My entire chair was rumbling at that 4DX. Did you have a bunch of burritos beforehand? Are we talking about some digestion issues? That's a shame. That is a shame. Odyssey and 4DX was sick. Oh, I bet. Yeah, because it's like they were on ships for some of that, right? So did it feel like you were in the ship with them? You know? Josh, I think they'll eventually show RTJ's face in the trailers to get normies interested. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I think, you know, you could be right. You could be right. What do you think about the old rumor that the old mutants being from 828? Oh, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that, but maybe, but I don't think so. With the MCU project, would you like Zack Snyder to direct if Feige hired him? I think Midnight Suns. I think he'd be great on Midnight Suns. You know what else he would be great at is doing the WandaVision or the Wanda movie. If they want to do a solo Scarlet Witch movie, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder! Do it with Zack! All right, let's end that segment there. We got one more thing to do. I know it's a long stream today. Oh, I did want to talk about this too. Oh my God. Can we do 2 segments? All right, let me go. You do a potty break, okay? Let me go do a potty break. And then I kind of want to do 2 more segments if you guys are chill. Be kind of a longer stream, but we're not doing a stream tonight. No Warhammer Wednesday. I'll be right back. Do you guys see these planes? And then the little guys are like, ah, the plane got me. Ah. Should we just play Warhammer on stream? Adam, are you at work? Should we play Warhammer? Yes, yes. No, no. No. What? Boarhammer? Not until a show drops? What? I gotta wait for that show. I gotta wait for that show. It's gonna be years. Wow. Wow. Oh. All right, let's do one more segment. I'll save this one that I was gonna do, and I'll do it as a full video later on, okay? So I wanted to talk about a missed opportunity here. Something that would have been super cool. And man, I still hope it happens. I'm a little bit like worried about how all of this will be handled because, of course, Rob Liefeld is, well, he's talking that shit. And he's super mad because they're at the premiere and Rob goes up to Kevin Feige and he's like, will you take a picture with me and my son? Apparently, Kevin Feige kicked him in the balls, threw him down a set of stairs. Allegedly. You know what I mean? Rob's really butthurt about it. So, kind of a shame that that's what's going on here. So, this report coming from The Direct, and I think it actually is an exclusive too. It says Fox's scrapped X-Force film was set to feature Strife as the main villain, a clone of Josh Brolin's Cable. Let's read on. Rob Liefeld confirmed that a major Marvel villain and actor was set to lead the antagonistic charge in Fox's canceled X-Force movie. 20th Century Fox spent 6 years, from 2013 to 2019, attempting to get an X-Force movie off the ground, starting with plans for a darker, grittier trilogy from Kick-Ass 2 writer Jeff Waldlow. Those plans evolved after Deadpool 2 came along with its own X-Force, and Daredevil creator Drew Goddard started to cook up a spinoff for Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Josh Brolin's Cable, Zazie Beetz Domino. Sadly, Goddard's X-Force was canceled when Disney acquired the 20th Century Fox, which also pushed Deadpool 3 back to 2024. The Direct exclusively spoke to Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld at MultiCon 2026 and asked him about the canceled X-Force movie. The man behind the X-Force noted that Cable actor Josh Brolin was really excited about the team-up after landing a multi-picture deal to play the time-traveling mutant at Fox. But beyond that, Brolin, who's also MCU's Thanos, was meant to have dual roles in X-Force as Strife, a regular foe of the team with connections to Apocalypse. Here's what he said here. I think it's safe to say Josh was really excited because he signed a multi-picture deal and he was excited about the prospect of not only playing Cable, but longtime fans of the X-Force know that he would have been portraying Strife as well. As many X-Men diehards will know, Cable, otherwise known as Nathan Summers, the son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, a Jean Grey clone. Strife was created by the Ascani tribe in the far future as a backup in the event of Nathan's death, but he was ultimately taken and raised by Apocalypse to serve as his new host body, only to be abandoned when it became clear he was not viable. Dude, Strife is so fucking cool, man. Oh, this would have been awesome. Honing in on Liefeld's subtle confirmation that X-Force was set to feature Strife at the a Marvel comic veteran revealed Cable variant was absolutely the villain of the script that was abandoned with the Disney Fox acquisition. In fact, there were even talks about teasing Strife in Deadpool 2's post-credit scene. The direct. You mentioned Strife. Was that something that was going to happen with the older release? Liefeld, the X-Force movie that was going to be coming to the screen that Fox had planned before Disney bought the Fox catalog, he was absolutely in that movie. Spoiler alert, it would have been great. And there were, at one point, discussions about him being in an after-credit scene in Deadpool 2, but they struck that. Deadpool 2's post-credit scene ultimately saw the Merc with the Mouth messing with Cable's time-traveling device to rewrite the timeline to save Vanessa. Sadly, Brolin's Cable hasn't appeared since, and he sat out Deadpool and Wolverine, but there are rumors that Reynolds wants Cable's back for his next MCU movie. Those rumors are true. We'll talk more about that in a second. It's clear that Liefeld was excited about the potential of an X-Force with Strife, and it sounds like he wasn't the only one. He made it clear that Brolin was excited for the chance to play both sides of the same coin, being good and evil. But no, Josh told me the opportunity to portray those two characters, the two sides of the coin, being good and evil, was something that really he was really excited about. I mean, again, in respect to Josh, there's a possibility he has moved way beyond a future X-Force movie. Unfortunately, Goddard hasn't had much luck in getting a morally ambiguous superhero team project off the ground for reasons beyond his control. Not only was the X-Force abandoned when Disney bought 20th Century Fox in 2019, and the 5 years prior, in 2014, Sony also canceled Goddard's Sinister Six movie that was set with Amazing Spider-Man universe. It should come as no surprise that Goddard has moved on from Marvel, having just penned Project Hail Mary and being on board to write Matrix 5. He is also part of James Gunn's DC Studios' larger creative community, although there's no sign that he's developing a DC movie of his own, because James Gunn can't do that job. I can't believe they wrote that, the direct. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a new X-Force project to be released after Secret Wars in the MCU's third saga. It's unclear whether the X-Force revival in the mutant team-up movie that Ryan Reynolds has been writing to replace Deadpool 4, in which he's expected to take a supporting role. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Number one, that would have been so fucking awesome. I really like Josh Brolin as Cable, but man, Josh Brolin as Strife, put him in that crazy ass armor, my God. And here's the thing about the Rob Liefeld situation, okay? Is Rob maybe being a little bit of a dick to Marvel Studios? Yes. But as someone who is also a gigantic dick face, I just have trouble like completely condemning his actions. At the end of the day, I think the corporation, I think the producers, I think all those people really should value not only Liefeld's work, but his relationship to the Marvel fandom. I mean, there are people like me that like, dude, I swear to God, Rob has said some wild shit on Twitter, you know, particularly, you know, dogging on my guy Feige. I like Kevin a lot. I've been very close to like, you know, being very, I don't like what Rob's been doing. Okay? But being a massive Marvel fan and actually understanding what happened with the Image guys, what Liefeld brought to the table, I mean, dude, he's Marvel royalty, okay? He's Marvel royalty. And I think, you know, even if you don't necessarily respect and love everything that Liefeld did, and it's fair to say that some of the aspects of Deadpool were actually, you know, potentially created by other people, right? The one thing you gotta give Liefeld credit for is the way he creates characters. It works. It resonates. It's badass, dude. There's a reason that he created so many iconic characters that to this day, people's fucks with. And Cable is certainly one of those characters. So is Strife. And I guess what I'm saying here right now is I would absolutely hate if this Strife idea was shelved because of the thing with Liefeld and, you know, Kevin or people at Disney are like, hey, fuck that guy. Which, by the way, did you guys know that CB Cebulski literally admitted that they changed the name of certain Marvel books so that they didn't have to pay Liefeld royalties? So like that absolutely happened as well. I think they did this to GW Bridge in the Captain America movie. I feel pretty strongly that Giancarlo Esposito was actually going to play GW Bridge, and they knew they'd have to pay royalties to Liefeld if they did that, and so they changed it. Like, I'm telling you, dead ass, I think that happened. Okay, so for me, I would be very upset if people at Disney or even Feige himself were going to literally prevent us from seeing Josh Brolin's Strife because they don't want to pay royalties to Rob Liefeld. Holy shit. Like that would be tragic. Like that would be absolutely tragic. Okay. So I'm hoping that that's not what it is. Okay. And I think there's a way that it could all be handled. Like I don't see any reason as to why they can't butter up Liefeld. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe they don't think it's worth it, or maybe they're just feeling like it doesn't matter. I think it does. That's just my opinion. So I would rebuild that bridge. I would butter Liefeld up. I would tell him we're gonna do this. We're gonna bring Strife in. It's gonna be awesome. And then also too, because Rob said he's like completely done doing Marvel comic stuff. What if you offered the opportunity for him to do something that actually connected this movie with these characters or something? I don't know. I'm just the type of guy that thinks there's always a solution. If you put egos aside, there's always a solution. Okay. Now, let's talk about what we know about the actual plans for the next Deadpool movie. According to the various reports, and a lot of this comes from My Time to Shine Hello, Ryan is writing a Deadpool movie. He wants it to be an ensemble. He thinks Deadpool works better in an ensemble, and I tend to agree. He apparently does want Cable back. He wants Josh Brolin's Cable back, okay? We heard there's potential X-Force involvement. I heard he wants Zazie Beetz back. I heard he wants Storm, and he wants Cynthia's Storm. And so they want to do something with Deadpool, okay? Now, another thing that's going on here that's kind of interesting is there's some Secret Wars leaks out there suggesting that they'll actually put the multiverse back after Secret Wars, and Deadpool and Wolverine are probably going to go right back to their universe that they were at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. However, we also heard that X-23 will potentially be in the new 616 X-Men universe. So are Deadpool and Wolverine going to show up to 616 kind of like Deadpool does in Deadpool and Wolverine and drop off X-23, Daphne Keene's X-23, at the school for Charles Gifted Youngsters and then just like bail? Because it kind of seems like that might happen. And if that happens, then Deadpool and Wolverine and their own universe and their knowledge of the X-Men and all of these different things are actually just caked in to the X-Men overall, even with a new MCU X-Men reboot happening. Okay? And that's kind of par for the course for the X-Men. That's kind of how Fox handled things. That's kind of how comics have handled things in the past. Like, you've had different comics runs where the future X-Men are back, the X-Men from the past are in the present. There's like a lot of different goofy shit, goofy, weird things that they do with the X-Men and time travel and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm telling you is, I think we're going to get the next Deadpool movie set in that Deadpool Wolverine universe, or set in the multiverse if they do an Exiles version of X-Force. And I think the best villain for that would absolutely still be Strife. I think there's a universe out there where Strife has taken over an entire world. And Strife is this big threat to the multiverse overall. And you've got, maybe aided by the TVA, maybe not, Deadpool, Wolverine, Cable, Domino, X-Force, and they have to go stop Strife. Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely incredible. So I suppose there's a way that this could work out. I did hear that Cable's is like a big part of what they want to do. So why not go back to this? Why not go back to this thing with Strife? I think it would be absolutely incredible, guys. I would be very excited for it. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of over Deadpool. Like, I'm legitimately kind of over Deadpool. But you throw him into an X-Force movie, we're still doing multiversal stuff. If he can kind of exist in that ensemble, if I get Strife, I'm going to be happy, dude. Like, I would legitimately be happy with that. I think it would be incredible. So that's the report and a little bit of speculation on it. Would love to know what you guys think, man. Chat, what do you think of this? What do you think? I don't know if I buy that. The F4 are definitely joining 616. That's not what we're hearing. We don't know. We don't know because it's all leaks, rumors, and scoops and all that. But right now, we're hearing that that universe will exist. 828 will come back. So you might not have a Fantastic Four in the 616, which I know seems pretty crazy. But also, fuck Pedro. You know what I mean? So I'm not that mad about it. Josh, it's 3 segments. Alex just dropped a Q&A. Did he really? Yeah, well, we'll see. Is there anything good in there? Or is he just complaining about how Monica Rambeau might not be in it? I could see Strife Hot Toys. That's what I'm saying, dude. Strife is fucking awesome. Like, come on, man. Feige, look, I get it. Guys being ridiculous. But sometimes really talented people are ridiculous. And it's your job to manage the talent. Grease them fucking wheels, baby. Grease them wheels because I need Strife. Okay? The guy made incredible characters. Strife is one of them. Grease them wheels, baby. All things can be figured out. I think there's never been a problem that cooler heads and a bag full of money couldn't solve. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Plus, we get Brolin and Jackman going bar for bar. Yeah, the two of those characters together, constantly making fun of Deadpool and calling him a clown together, would be amazing. I understand not giving Liefeld a bag. That guy is fucking wildly annoying. Like the most annoying type of person. I understand your feelings. I'm not telling you how to feel. What I'm suggesting to you is we will all feel better if they just figure that out. You think Rob might be a little bit nicer if they figured that out? And we'll all feel better if we get Strife. Okay? I'm thinking about the collective here. Okay, I understand how you feel. Brother, I don't even like what Liefeld's been saying, okay? Like, trust me. Even for me, it's like, oh, it's a bit much, right? But why can't we get on the same team here? Yeah. Not at all. Liefeld will probably be more annoying if you do that. I don't think so. I don't think so. If the plan is Eternity War post Secret Wars, then the multiverse still has to exist in some form. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's very true. Liefeld is overrated. Even if that were true, he's still Marvel royalty. The guy created Cable. The guy created Deadpool. The guy created Domino. The guy created Strife. Like, guys. Oh, I get it. I get it. I just want my team to win. And it's like the Dirty Dozen thing. You know, Kevin is in the bar. Liefeld walks in. And he's like, you son of a bitch. And Kevin's like, you scalawag motherfucker. But then if you got to defend the town against James Goon's goons, then they both should stand side by side. Like, come on, man. Just my opinion. All right, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Bro can't even draw feet. What is this, some fucking Tumblr page? Some fucking Frodo Baggins Hobbit bullshit? Rule 34? Weirdo? Message board? I don't give a fuck if he can fucking draw feet! Okay. Draw my feed, Josh. Jesus Christ. Hey, where's this Q&A? Is it good? Where's this Q&A from Mr. Alex Perez? Okay, we got another Q&A here. Okay, you know what? Let's see what he's got. Let's see what she's got. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new Q&A over on the Cosmic Circus. Let's take a peek-sees and see what Mr. Alex Perez has to say about Rob Liefeld's ability to draw feet good enough for some of you gooners to be aroused by it. Adam, cut that part out. That maybe went a little too far there. Okay, here we go. Spider-Man Brand New Day and Beyond. Okay, so he's asked about the detailing of No Way Home and Brand New Day. After seeing Brand New Day, I am satisfied that Peter Parker ended the film alive with no symbiote and on the road to recovery. That being said, are the events of No Way Home and Brand New Day still crucial to the plot and certain character arcs of Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars? Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. By the way, one of the things I first said when I actually confirmed with sources the Jean Grey thing, I remember one of the first things I said was the symbiote stuff's not in there either. And in fact, the reason I brought that up is because I was looking for people that actually knew what the fuck was going on with this movie that would be like, oh shit, so he knows the symbiote shit's not real. He might be right about Jean Grey. Let's reach out to him, which, by the way, a few people did and helped me to further confirm it. But yeah, so no symbiote thing. Hard to say exactly when they pulled the plug on that. I bet it was planned at one point, but obviously didn't happen. Alex says, yes, No Way Home more than Brand New Day, but yes. So he's talking about the spell, right? He's talking about the spell, the multiversal homies, all that sort of stuff. Follow-up question here. Do you personally think that Jean Grey's psychic shockwave could have affected Doctor Strange's memory spell? In universe, the Master of the Mystic Arts probably never accounted for the possibility of a powerful telepath, one that is an Omega-level mutant, that could affect their Eldritch magic. Also, Jean previously shared a memory spell in the comics with Strange number 6, and she's set to return in Secret Wars, where memory manipulation is a key plot element. Just something to theorize over. Alex says, I don't think so. And if I had to tell you my personal opinion, I think the spell really just wiped everyone's memories clean. The best evidence, aside from MJ not remembering Peter in Brand New Day, is mentioned in No Way Home. Remember, the full moon party at Carmartage? Wong doesn't. And Strange said it's straight to his face. So I think those memories are just wiped. Though I do think there's a chance they could be recovered, but we'll see. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting question. That's a big sort of question that folks have about that film. Chat, I wonder what you think about that. Do you think that Jean Grey is able to bring those back, or you think they're gone forever? Let us know. Next up, is Brand New Day post-credit scene a good indication that there will be a Life Raft / Resistance team in Secret Wars? There is a Resistance team, but no word on the Life Rafts. Okay, that's interesting. With Tom Holland saying he knows when Miles will be introduced to the MCU, do you think we'll see him in Spider-Man 5? It's way too early to tell. Agree with that. Last time we saw Peter and Jean together, Jean said she had no one left, and Peter reassured her that she now has him. Are there any plans to build that friendship or even make Spider-Man an ally friend of the X-Men? Both characters have a history with being cloned, so maybe something could happen there. Close friends with the X-Men after that. Be close friends with the X-Men after that. Interesting. So he's implying that there will be some kind of relationship between Spider-Man and the X-Men. I wonder how they'll feel about him making the inhibitor ship, right? Kind of crazy. Okay, with Brand New Day out being successful as it is, it made me hungry for a new Spider-Man project. It's early, but what new villains do you think we could see in Spidey 5? There are ways that we could go. Me personally, though, since we're getting a symbiote coming up, I would love for the adaptation of the Death of Jean DeWolf story mixed with Gang War. So definitely Tombstone is required there, Hammerhead, Silvermane as well. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of means that he doesn't really know, though, and I think it's way too early to tell. Okay, so we got some updates about Thunderbolts. Having that in mind, are there any chances the shelf plans for Melina were unused in Thunderbolts could appear here going against Yelena? I think that's her mom, right? The Madame Mask character. Kind of too early to get into specifics that I know I could see her as a part of the newer Thunderbolts team. Then again, keep in mind that a lot of this is being thrown around, so nothing is set in stone. Okay, interesting. But a while back, a couple of ideas I heard repurposing Taskmaster's tech to make a new Taskmaster. That would be great. Make an actual Taskmaster. Bring in an Abomination, Melissa Gold into the fold, and Bullseye being a neat addition too. But then again, there are just ideas being thrown around. Man, what's his name? Winston Bethel or whatever? The guy that plays Bullseye? He's great. I think he would be so good in a movie. So I'd like him in the Thunderbolts. I think that would be great. Okay, so with Yelena and Doomsday, do you have any cool comments for other characters, especially referring to what you mentioned? Other than Yelena, only one person hesitant to use Bob's powers, if you can remember that. Okay, I do recall what you're mentioning, and he does. The person I was referring to was Charles Xavier. What? That's crazy, because there were long-standing rumors that Charles might be going inside the mind of Sentry to try to stop the Void. Whoa, dude, is that real? Yelena, does he have any cool moments with other characters, especially referring to what you mentioned? Other than that, Yelena, there's one other person that is hesitant to use Bob's power, and that would be Charles Xavier. Whoa, that's cool. I like that one. So asked about Werewolf by Night, and he says, I've come to neat information that points to a sequel for Werewolf by Night being in development. Okay, that's good. That's literally one of the best ones they made. I wouldn't be mad about that shit. That could be fun. Okay, so Alex is asked about Mystique in an upcoming X-Men flick. Is she real probability, or is she in a future plan like Gambit? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be very frank and tell you straight up that I'm the last person you guys should be asking for casting information. That said, from the very little that I've heard about the development of this film, they kind of wanted to deviate away from the whole Magneto and the Brotherhood trope and focus on other villains that haven't been seen before, Sinister being at the top of Feige's list. So we've heard that tracks, and that's probably why Magneto's not in the movie either. So my interpretation of that is that they're actively looking for anybody who is a part of the Brotherhood for the X-Men's first outing. Maybe Magneto, if they want to establish that he exists, but we'll see how that goes. I actually tend to agree. If they do Magneto, it's probably just some setup scenes with him and Charles, and then he's out of the picture. I don't think they're going to do that, and they might even just wait to do Magneto. I don't know. Okay. So the original X-Men are set to return in Doomsday, as well as fan favorite characters, but nothing has been said about the cast from First Class. Do you think they'll return in any future project at all? I heavily doubt it. Not a single thing has been mentioned on that front. Yeah, so I've been hearing for years that Feige had beef with Simon Kinberg. There might also have been a contractual reason that this happened, but basically Feige doesn't want to do anything to make Kinberg's movies more valuable. So I mean, again, I've told you, this is White Suge Knight. Kevin Feige will sometimes play dirty, and I've heard he has serious beef with Simon Kinberg. Simon Kinberg, by the way, sucks ass. So Simon Kinberg doing your next Star Wars trilogy sucks ass. Star Wars is totally cooked. Just get into Warhammer. Okay, we got Gene in the MCU, so I was wondering, what other versions of X-Men this team's personalities and stories will primarily focus on? Alex said, from what I understand, the idea is to get the original 5 team members together with some additions and basically establish a coming-of-age story where these characters who have been in hiding due to the fear of rejection or persecution are finally stepping out of the shadows to save the world and to prove that not all mutants are bad, just Jean Grey. But I'm sure we'll learn more about it next week at D23. Oh, so he's sure that we'll learn more about it next week at D23. So not only was this question asked last week and answered last week, but now he's confirming that D23 is going to have that X-Men shit. Let's go. Okay. Will the Mutant Saga ultimately lead to adaptations or storylines, namely Avengers vs. X-Men stuff? Alex answers, there's a lot of things that we could be looking at, but I think referring to it as a saga is a mistake because there are different routes these projects are planning to take, and not all of them are going to lead to some big crossover event. Some are going to lead to supernatural crossover, like in Midnight Suns. Others are going to lead to a big mutant event with the X-Men solo outing, which I think would be big enough on its own. You have the comic storylines with Nova and Annihilus, Eternals, and Celestials, so we'll see where it all leads. But I hope that answers your question. That is kind of interesting, huh? That is kind of interesting. I like that answer. It's going to take me a second to kind of decipher what exactly that could mean. But I sort of like this idea that we might be getting little mini arcs. Not all of it has to connect together. Maybe they're trying to do this one a little bit differently. And maybe it really is more of a cosmic horror a nihilist Eternals thing that they're leading to, and which X-Men will be involved and how the Avengers will be involved. Maybe they're still going to kind of sort that out. So I don't really know. Okay, so following Brand New Day, can we expect to see mutant characters, non-mutant projects like Avengers films, other than Storm in Black Panther 3? Alex says 100%. And I think so too. Again, we talked about Black Panther 3 earlier today. Alex actually just dropped some juice on that. I think that's X-Men related. I think Namor will be really, a mutant. I think Shadow King, if that's real, that'll be really crazy. Storm, that'll be really crazy. So I think you're getting mutants. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Ghost Rider had a mutant or two. Like, why not? Like, why not, dude? The mutants are amazing. Throw them in there. Okay, Young Avengers Champions. Will the Young Avengers Champions members be involved in a comic or cosmic level thing in the future? First, let me set the record straight. It's Champions. Forget the Young Avengers. It's just Champions. Secondly, cosmic storylines are definitely in their future if they plan to incorporate Nor-Var and Hulkling down the road. However, Vision Quest is going to be a very important project to look forward to if you want to peek at what Marvel has planned for Champions, primarily because the show, Ultron wants to explore life, and this show really is all about fathers and sons connecting, whether it's Ultron and Vision, Vision with Tommy, Vision and Tommy with Billy, or Ultron wanting a son of his own. Ooh, interesting. Will we see Kate and Yelena interact together or team up post Secret Wars? Yeah, that would definitely be some big potato stuff. Yeah, no, that would suck ass. We don't care. Do you think Marvel still has plans to introduce Hulkling at some point? 100% with a shadow of a doubt. They want Hulkling to appear at some point. Okay, we'll see about that. Champions, Kate Bishop specifically. I'm not going to copy pasta, a message from my sources. I really don't know where this idea of Marvel stepping away from live action is coming from, but it's just not true. Scaling down productions, but straight up canceling TV shows is not something that's either cost effective for Marvel or Disney. As long as Disney Plus exists, Disney will continue to ask Marvel Studios to produce content for its platform. It's all a matter of putting quality over quantity. Yeah, look, at the end of the day here, man, like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I think Alex and some of the people he talks to are super incentivized to believe that, and I just don't think it's true. I could be wrong. They could be right. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Jeff Snyder on this one. And also, they literally just canceled Wonder Man Season 2. So, yeah, I just don't believe Alex in them. I think they're holding on to this hope that Marvel isn't moving as far away from some of this stuff as I think Marvel is moving away from it. I think they should move away from it. I don't give a fuck about the Champions, dude. Like, I don't care about those characters. And by the way, I've seen a lot of other people that aren't even close to being as much of an asshole as me that also feel the same way. Like, a bunch of just regular ass people are like, fuck the Champions, do Young X-Men. That's way cooler. And I totally agree. Like, at some point, we just have to like understand that the people that really like these characters exist, but they don't exist in a number nearly large enough to justify content being made for them. Which is what I think. Okay. There's definitely a special presentation worked on right now, Werewolf by Night, Heroes for Hire, Strange Academy, but it's more of case-by-case basis. That's interesting. Heroes for Hire could be amazing. That could be really, really fun. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, a lot of miscellaneous stuff here, huh? Yeah, talking more about the cancellation. Okay, yeah, no, I don't think there's too much more in that back end. There's some interesting stuff in here, though. There's some interesting stuff in here. And again, like, look, all of these scoopers, all of these insiders, they're just people. But I think through understanding what kind of people they are, we can actually understand the lensing by which they filter their information. So, like, one of the things you just know, like, about Alex is he likes all these goofy ass Phase 4, 5, characters. Like, he's a fan of the all new, all different Marvel, bullshit characters. And that's his right. But it also means he's incentivized to think and to report that they're still going to happen. You know what I mean? Also, never forget that Alex Perez tried to tell us that Gary from Nerderotic was wrong when Gary reported that the beginning of the Doomsday movie would have Tobey Maguire's universe invaded by the X-Men, and they would fight, and Tobey Maguire's universe would be destroyed. And, like, Alex has never basically admitted this, but we all know what that was. He just doesn't like Gary, doesn't like what Gary stands for, and just tried to make it seem like Gary was wrong. Well, guess what? Gary wasn't wrong. Okay? So we have evidence that Alex is a certain kind of person that will bend the truth in order to make a point. So keep that in mind. Okay? But also, of course, Alex has pretty good sources and stuff. So I think a lot of this is probably true. I think the X-Men stuff is intriguing. Thunderbolts, I mean, maybe. Like, they could find a way to make that interesting. And I do think some symbiote and some of that other stuff is going to be happening with Spider-Man in those future movies. So there's some cool stuff there. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about all this stuff? Any of it excite you? You're a Liefeld Glazer. I'm not even a Liefeld Glazer. I'm not a Liefeld Glazer. I just am reading the terrain. I think he's too important to have this rift between the two of them. Is it nerd-erotic or nerd-rotic? You know what I mean? I actually don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I feel like all this info is hit or miss. Most of these sources just contradict itself most of the time. It never ends up happening. Gene Powers being pink and Brand New Day. Jacket. Yeah, there's always... Alex himself, though, has admitted lately that he thinks he does like 60, 70% right. You know what I mean? And he thinks like he's 30, 40% wrong. But that doesn't mean that he's wrong that much. I think what it means is it's really hard to decipher what the truth of this is. Marvel also changes stuff. So I think he's still one of the most reliable people out there. But yeah, a lot of this could be wrong. They are always make a Wonder Man season 2 later or add Wonder Man to a new show. Or let it die forever and never bring it up again. Or that. The 51 people who pay for Cosmic Circus are the people who want Avengers so bad, but Alex is good. Yeah, that's like, again, it's like, that's just what it is. Like, I feel like there's sometimes this overly judgmental thing that people can do, where, like, for instance, you know, considering what Alex did to that report that Gary had, like, you could be... It would be understandable if you wrote off everything he said as not true forever, but I think that's intellectually dishonest. It's pretty clear what happened. I would imagine Alex is like super woke and probably really doesn't like Gary. So Gary had this report. Alex, well, he fucked up a little bit, but we understand the motivation. If you can understand that, then you don't have to throw away everything he ever says for the rest of the time. You just have to keep in mind, what kind of a person is this? How do I lens the information that this person is giving me? Right? Josh, how many new minutes of new scenes can we expect in Avengers Endgame Encore? I think about 6 to 7 minutes of new scenes, which is pretty good, I think. And maybe a new post-credit scene too. Maybe that's included in the post-credit scene thing. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Any last-minute ideas, questions, thoughts on this? Any last-minute questions, thoughts on this this Q&A here from the Cosmic Circus? 6, 7? Yeah. Yeah, you got it, bud. I'm so hungry. What should I eat for lunch? Can we talk about that now? Almost a 3-hour stream, and you guys say I'm a part-timer? We're doing 2 streams on Friday, 1 stream on Saturday, and I'm a part-timer? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, that's an interesting question. How has your experience deciphering the truth from various sources in the nerdy space impacted how you view the actual news/historical records? I mean, I think there's similarities. You got to understand the person. You got to understand the motivation, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think there's definitely some lessons there. Humans are fallible. Humans have agendas. And often what you'll find, too, is the levers of power and the people that stand over those levers will tend to align, if not for a conspiracy, for shared interests. So it's important to keep those things in mind. Would you say that deep diving into leaks constantly leads to ruining your experience and expectations? No, I would say the opposite, but I would say this, like, if you're not into it, then don't do it. But for me, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I have known basically everything that has been in every Marvel movie for at least the past 5 years. And that includes the Jean Grey thing. I mean, who got the Jean Grey thing right? I got the Jean Grey thing right, okay? So I've basically had next to no surprises in any Marvel movie over the past 5 years from a leak perspective. And yet the really good ones still blow me away. I still have an incredible time with the ones that are really fun. And I still really hate the ones that are shit. Because the difference between like reading something and experiencing it in the movie, totally different things. And in fact, I would argue that if the experience of watching the thing is equivalent to reading it on the internet, then what you did on the big screen is horseshit. It's bullshit. Like, you should be able to create content that's so captivating, that draws me in so much, that I actually am not sitting there doing a checklist of like, oh, this was in the leaks, this was in the leaks, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be so enthralling that I just have an absolutely incredible experience. The other thing I would say is, have you ever watched a movie more than once? And did it hurt the experience the second time because you knew everything that was going to be in the movie? Like, that's not a thing. And in fact, most of the time people actually enjoy movies more the second or third time. And I think a part of why that is because they can really settle in. They actually know, they have an expectation. They know what to expect. And they're able to just enjoy it a little bit more. Does that make sense? So no, I don't think that way at all. But I will say that for some people, it absolutely could ruin their experience. And those people should guard their own experience online. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed Brand New Day more the second watch. Me too. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Josh, what's your take on the movie theater experience now? I know you thought it was dead, but Brand New Day, the future of the MCU, making me happy the experience still exists. Yeah, again, like, I don't get as much out of it as some other people, but I did have a good time in the theater with Brand New Day. And there is something about watching it with an audience and watching how audiences react, et cetera, et cetera. I definitely think there's value there. My argument is there's not enough value there to actually justify gatekeeping it there and not just giving me at home. Because again, this is just me, the ability to have it at home, be able to smoke and drink and pause it to go to the bathroom and rewind it if I want to, fast forward it if I want to. All of those things add value to me. And so to me, I don't think the theatrical experience is actually worth the cost of admission. And I don't think enough value is created in those dark rooms to actually justify the cost, the travel, the inconvenience. That's just me. Okay? You don't have to feel that way. And by the way, it doesn't seem like I'm going to win this one anytime soon. Hollywood is dead set on still gatekeeping all of its shit in a movie theater. So, yeah, that's where I stand on it. Like, dead ass, man. I'll just tell it to you like this, okay? If they announce today that Doomsday is available on Disney Plus, day and date, guess where I'm watching it? Disney fucking Plus. Part of the reason why is because I could actually do a watch party. Imagine you guys being able to experience my first time watching Doomsday live. And then I'd be able to watch it back right away. I'd be able to watch it at like 0.2 speed to look at every little thing right away. Okay? I could watch half of it and then go work out and watch the other half of it. That's just me, but I would 100% rather watch it at home. Yeah, it's still. What do you guys think? Do you love the theater? You love the theater? You guys like going to the movies? How else would studios make money off of the movies? Dude, I don't give a fuck about the studios. Figure it out. Here's an idea. Use AI. Make it way cheaper. Josh, did you hear about the brand new day screening that had to cancel due to a dude let out a toxic fart 20 minutes in? I did hear about that. Yeah. I bet all those people in the theater were like, I love the theatrical experience. Yeah, dude. Like, no way. No way that has the I think it's just all a trick. I think it's all a trick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get on out of here. Over a 3-hour stream today, so I don't want to hear any complaints about me being a part-timer. No stream tomorrow, by the way. Really appreciate you. Dawn of War 4 delayed? Well, thanks for that. Right at the end of the stream, Adam. Thanks for that. Not daily equal part-timer. All right, everybody. Look, much love, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for the members. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the engagement, man. I appreciate it. Guys, no stream tomorrow. No stream tonight. I'm sorry. I just need to prepare for the weekend. Get some scripts written. Get some videos done. Friday is a juicy day, man. New Doomsday trailer in the morning. X-Men MCU reboot cast in the evening. And then Saturday morning at 10 a.m., we are deep diving on Days of Future Past. It's going to be juicy. Big streams coming up. Really appreciate you. Much love. And as I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, are having... Turn that off. Turn that off. I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, another happy landing. Oh, another lovely stream. Girthy one today. When you get a new P.O. box? Soon. Soon. Hell yeah. Oh, what a lovely time with a bunch of lovely topics with a bunch of lovely people. It's lovely. So very lovely. I'm gonna get on out of here. I gotta eat some food, and then I got a lot of work to do. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you. Get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do me a favor. Actually, make it 2. First up, open up that third eye. It's your third eye. You know, the pineal gland. Just open that shit up. And then wash out your stinky, stinky butt. All right, I'll see you.